It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake now! Everybody wake!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yes. You got to cut and crack. Now it's cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the ball y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Chicken and beef. Let's go. And beef. Ooh. Taquitos, yes. Well, if you go to, yeah, they are. And LeBron had it, count them, 6 dunks. If you went to, if you go to ESPN.com, that's one of the top stories. LeBron's 6 dunks propel. I mean, I didn't know we were counting dunks now, but we are apparently like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Which he has like none of them, right? Who cares? Well, he's been running out of the maternity ward a lot. Been running out of, yeah, been running around. Sure. Yeah, you were eating green drinks and drinking green drinks, seaweed baths and stuff like that. Oh, no. Yeah. He's got something going on. No. That'll affect anybody enough where you don't eat for a while. I mean, that's a little anxiety. No, I mean, dude, big stuff, life stuff like that happens. People usually have that anxiety about for a few weeks and they get skinnier. So sometimes, but the thing is, it was funny to see on ESPN's, I'm scouring the sites in the morning a little bit, not to sound like an old guy, but I'm like, all right, let's see what's going on. And talking about LeBron's dunks and Lakers win, I'm like, are people really paying attention to that? But look, SVP's talking about it right now. So who am I to say? I mean, yeah, I'm locked in on Miami, Ohio, SMU highlights. But hey, there's other things going on still, but it is day 1 of the tournament. So let's keep the main thing, right, guys? This is the buffet now upon us. Tough for me. I'm gonna say I'm not as jacked as I can be, and jacked as I've been jacked many more times over the years for the tournament. I said that weirdly. Pause. Yes, I have been much more jacked for tournaments, obviously in the past, right? I mean, and we all love having more local teams in, whether it be the years UWM got in, or if you remember back to the '90s, Green Bay, they did, and listen, obviously Marquette for me. But I think the difference is I've been processing for 3 months that they're not going to get in the tournament. So it's not one of those things where they were a bubble team. You were hoping. Marquette was pretty much out of it by Christmas. And in that sense, you might have already been preparing yourself for it. Listen, there was a time this year where I thought we'd have maybe no local teams in the tournament, no state teams in the tournament. I wasn't trying to pound it. I was just saying, everybody, put up your alerts. This is a problem right now, and the Badgers were kind of wallowing in that pool a bit, but obviously made a huge run the last 2 months and are in great shape with the 5 seed now. So the juice isn't the same for me, but I would imagine for Badger fans it's the same. I think it's probably better when your rival's not in it. Then you're the only team that you can win and you can dunk on your rival and things like that. And I think the juice is there, especially because the Badgers lead this thing off, basically. Totally. Oh, yeah. That's right. One bracket. I got one, and that's enough. That's enough. All these 19 bracket guys. Listen, that's over now. We're not doing that anymore. No, you know what? I didn't. She's still. Yeah, that is. I could have picked blocks, maybe. I don't know what I would have done. She's still a little too young for this. Logos. That's the thing. Do you want to do a real bracket or not? Yeah. That is good. Mm. I hope you do have time, actually. Yeah. Mm. The more important bracket is the one you're talking about. I mean, it still exists, but it's not going to happen. Yeah. It's funny. It is still a thing. The perfect bracket, and they give there's bracket contests that you can for free enter when you do like your computer like. Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's funny. It's funny you mention that because I made a decision this year when I was filling out the bracket. We're doing the family bracket, and by the way, Laura committed a faux pas. You can't fill out your bracket, ask me about it, and then go back and change it before tournament starts. But she did that. I thought you were locked in. She can't do that, Laura. No, she took my advice and then used it to change it. That's not cool. You already filled out your bracket. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to change it up. She had like Villanova going far, and I shouldn't have given her any help. I mean, I'm competing with her in this bracket. Anyway, here's my point, though. All right, you're doing the bracket contest. You're filling it on ESPN, and then they say at the end, "Would you like to enter for free? Click this box for all these different prizes." And then you realize you're not going to win any of these prizes. All you're going to do is give them permission to use your email. So you're going to be getting emails and texts and all these people calling your phone like nobody's business, block numbers. No, I'm not doing that. You know what? This is the first year I decided Yes, that's exactly right, Billy. This is the first year I decided, Drew and Billy, that my desire to avoid spam is greater than my desire for that 1 in 10 million, like you said, Drew, kicking it across the lake chance to actually win a national bracket contest. And it's not going to happen. So I unchecked all those boxes. I'm not eligible for the $500,000 tournament challenge presented by Procter & Gamble or whoever. I go opposite. That would have been nice. Yeah, that would have been wild to know that. That would have been me. That probably will happen. I'm sure. It's like the one guy that doesn't buy the lottery ticket at the office and they win. Come on now, and we're fired up because it's tournament day.
Grabbed himself a little bit of the home game. Hard to win on the road in the tournament. Great crowd. All Miami of Ohio fans. I loved Travis Steele, head coach of Miami of Ohio, Drew, saying people love upsets. This wasn't an upset tonight.
No, nobody's underdog
at all. We're nobody's underdog. We're 8-6. But they're 30. They've won 32 games now.
Yeah.
And listening to, thanks to the Varsity app, which you can find all Learfield calls on, I got to listen to a Ticker Redhawks coverage last night.
They must have been fired up, Billy, huh?
Their halftime show, if sweat emanated through audio, you could hear these boys sweating at half court. I mean, they were dialed in, trying to figure out how do we finish this next 20 minutes, Drew, to get us to the next round and to validate everything that they had been talking. And you're right. There were a lot of people saying, man, so good. I'm so glad they were in. I said it the whole time they should have been in. Because they ended up taking out a team in SMU who may or may not have had their best player out.
Yeah.
However, you can only win the game of the 5 players on the floor that you're playing against. And damn, when they got hot from 3 last night, it was all over for the Mustangs.
That narrative will be buzzing until they make their exit from the tournament field, right?
And now
will be
totally. That's the story I'd say right now.
Freezing cold takes will be, they're fresh. They're serving them up fresh.
Do you think people are cheering against them?
There are some that might.
Some maybe,
but
people cheer for their predictions and
cheer
their positions.
to be right.
Because they want to be right.
That's what it is.
Anchor in. I'm like, in the grand scheme, who cares? Right?
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
Very
you're
much
absolutely right, Drew. And that's the thing.
Who
People
cares? Like Auburn, like can we shut them up? Or
I don't care
Auburn
about
should have been in instead of
care.
SMU because that kid was hurt. And like
that's the one thing I never had said. Like that Auburn should be in because this and that. Like I was
what
arguing
about Oklahoma now playing in the college basketball crown?
The crown, yeah.
The crown.
I mean, like arguing for or against a team to be in based on the resume, I get it, but like I wasn't didn't care about Auburn's or didn't feel bad for Auburn at all. And the thing is, I think, yeah, you're right, Drew. People care in terms of they want to be right. So especially these days when everything's on the internet, they want to be able to go back and take a lap and say I was right to all the people they were arguing with that said like this team doesn't belong, this and that. So everyone's ego and hubris was on the line last night. But I've told myself I try not to be that guy. I do have a lot of I'll have strong takes on things, but I don't want to be the guy that's only going to care about being proven right. Because ultimately, you're right, Drew. It doesn't matter. Thanks. I'm trying to have personal growth here, Billy. But ultimately, Drew, you're absolutely right. It doesn't matter. So Miami, Ohio, they proved me wrong. I thought they were going to lose last night. So pretty impressive. They played hard. Now I'm going to say this: they did. Their shot quality expected first half points was 30.5. They outperformed that a lot, so they got hot last night. Congratulations! I'm just saying that's. No, I'm not gonna go.
All right, Mr. Analytics.
Shot quality chart.
But I think I think the Dayton crowd helped them, which is totally fine. That's the way it goes for them.
They can't help that.
They had a huge boost from the crowd. The Miami Ohio swim team and the Speedos, they were there behind the basket, messing with SMU's free throws. It was a sight to behold. And if you were a guy like me that, kind of was like poo-pooing Miami, Ohio and said they shouldn't be here or their resume wasn't that good and thought they'd lose, but you use that to motivate you into not enjoying last night, it's too bad because last night was a great game, great performance, and they're a good story. So congrats to Miami, Ohio on their play-in win, and now they're moving on to play to play again.
When you got a guy going 6 of 9 from downtown, Drew, it's gonna be hard to get beat.
Yeah.
And 40% from distance in college is almost like 70%. It feels like in the NBA game. But once they got it rolling last night, you said it, and I could not agree more. I saw a little bit of the clapback. Like, wow, everybody be able to play if you played an hour away from where you're at. Sorry, you can't help that.
Yeah,
That's not my fault.
Yeah,
that's not my fault.
Not
You
my
didn't,
problem.
that you didn't want to put us in Portland in a regular game. You could have put us in
Yeah.
Greenville, South Carolina if you wanted. You said we were one of the first 4. So these are where the games are played. If you want to start moving the first 4 around, go ahead. But like, you can only do what is in front of you. And it feels like that's been the clapback against Miami of Ohio all year, is like, well, you haven't done this. Well, sorry, we weren't asked to.
Yeah.
We're just playing the games that we're being asked to play.
Fluke your way to 31 wins.
Yeah, and last night was probably their best win of the year. I mean, everyone said, well, we don't know what they do against a better opponent. Well, now we did.
Sure.
So when they are proving themselves, or at least to a certain extent, you have to give them the requisite credit and stop trying to make excuses to explain it away. Now, they play Tennessee, different animal. Do I think they'll beat Tennessee? I don't. But you know what? They've earned their shot now, and I'll certainly walk in there waiting for them to see what they can do.
What parallels can we draw from that and that story arc and what we're saying about Miami of Ohio, or Miami University of Oxford, Ohio,
Baby,
and what awaits us today with High Point? There's a team that has run it up, hasn't lost a game in several weeks. That's not months.
14 in a row, right?
14 in a row, playing the Badgers, a high tempo game. They're Division I school. They're in the field. If you're in the field, you got to be by definition, you got to be pretty good, right?
For sure. It's the old,
you caught a wave in your conference tournament.
Totally the old chip in a chair conversation. And when you win 30 games, I don't care what conference you're playing in, you've been able to find that many W's. And the explosiveness offensively, I think, is the one where Armen's 3-point variance, I'm going to steal it from him right here. Last night, it's one team shoots 39%, one team shoots 25%. Both teams are going to shoot, 43s in this game? 35, 43s in this game. And it's going to come down to who can get rolling. And if you don't have the confidence of those top guards, it could be a different story. I didn't anticipate, guys, in our conversation when we first started breaking down this bracket. I don't know. Hunter does a phenomenal job. He's going to join us coming up at 7:00, talk some Brewers with us, with our clips and our reels and things like that. I really upset some Arkansas Razorback alum the other day when we were talking about this pairing. And I thought that it was a good group for the Badgers.
Well, let's go.
I thought it was a good group for the Badgers.
On Twitter, on the X machine?
On the IG.
Wow. Oh, come on now.
On Instagram.
Are you catching smoke from Bobby Portis?
Dude, I'm getting Darius A-cuffed all over the place. I mean, my man dropped 25 memes on me. And even to the point where there was a buddy from Arkansas that said, hey man, you even go to school here? I'm like, hey, all due respect to the Razorbacks, I'm not trying to say anything about Tyson Chicken. I'm talking more about the High Point game. I'm trying to get across one bridge first. We're trying to cross one bridge before you go to the next one.
But you should have gone all in, just ripping on Arkansas. I mean, let's be honest. That's one state we don't need. Right? Let's be honest. I talk about Oklahoma, you talk about Iowa. So,
well, and I think Nebraska's the one. Like, if we got to host something, throw it in Lincoln. No, what does it matter? We'll figure it out. But yeah, so there's some hot contention going on there in the Portland quad. I'm excited to see it.
Well, it is funny to see what algorithms you end up finding yourself into now with this new way X works. So that's pretty good, Billy. And it's going to get real hot if both teams go chalk and then we actually play them. But Arkansas has got to win their first game. So I think the best scenario for you, Billy, would be obviously the Badgers winning today. And then when Arkansas loses to Hawaii, just ripping on all those guys, being like, hey, you weren't even good enough to come play us, go back to Arkansas. So that's
the one. Big Daddy Darius says rent is due.
Big Daddy Darius. Rent is due. What are you talking about?
I don't know, but I love it. I mean, there were some phenomenal gifts that were getting thrown my way into that conversation. So Razorback fans are excited.
Big suey for Billy today. Love it.
I liked it. And I didn't know if they thought that there was still some bad blood with the Bielema exit.
I don't know, maybe.
I mean, I think we're all cool with the.
We might have to get our buddy
Hawks.
Mike Jocks to weigh in because he worked in Arkansas. He's
that's fluent. True. You might be able to give us a help.
He's fluent in Woo Pig Suey. He might know what line Billy stepped across here.
Just tell them, man, this isn't
And I love the
1994
hog.
anymore.
I love calling the hogs. I'm all about doing that. I'm calling the dogs, calling the hogs, whatever we can do down south.
Hogs,
Amazing.
dogs, lambs, rams, greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes.
Yes, thank you very much. And we can have all of it
done.
here today on a day.
Well done.
That's a hell of a start to the
Oh,
NCAA
baby.
tournament.
You mentioned our pal Hunter Baumgardt. He joins us at 7:00 to talk a little Brewers as we are we're 1 week away, right?
That just does not seem right, but we are 1 week away
from
this thing
opening
kicking
day.
off.
Ready to go, baby.
Brewers breaking camp this weekend, coming home for a couple exhibition games, and then firing up the championship season for 2026. Well, here we are. We've made it.
We finally made
Snow
it.
is going to melt today. You can feel it's getting warmer out. Snow is going to be melting like crazy.
We can almost see the concrete in the the parking lot here, which is cool.
We're getting there.
Yep, the icy finger of winter gave us one last prostate exam, and now we're ready to go on. We're on.
It was just a
spring.
blood test.
Yeah.
They took the Armen strategy in the parking lot that I fantasized about. Like, it'll probably melt by the end of the week. We're just gonna leave it.
Armen, and he adjusted his parking spot because it was snowed in, so
I did.
Armen had to move his parking space. That's
was
unbelievable to me
was-
that they didn't figure that out.
I
Got to plow that part of the lot where Armen parks.
the lifestyle change it had for me.
It's
I mean,
just
that was tough.
unbelievable.
That was
Hey,
tough.
you know, not all heroes wear capes.
We're
Armen's
proud of
sorry,
you.
and yeah, they
We're really proud of you for battling through the adversity.
Thank you, man.
love
Thank
it,
you.
love
Appreciate
it, love
that.
it. We're glad you're hanging out with us on this glorious day in the good land. What's your strategy for today? What's your strategy for brackets? We'll discuss that as we move forward. Dolph joins us at halftime. It's the usual stuff, but not, because it's a great day in sports. It's a great day on the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
5 seconds ran off the clock. Maynard. Inside, Smith. He's got to take it straight away. It's a brick, loose ball. Lewis, and that's it. After 59 years, the Badgers are headed back to the Final Four.
Oh, that had to be painful for Armen to play that coming back.
Look at you. That's some growth right there.
Well, I'm here to provide for the people.
Wow.
Do my job correctly.
Set his ring out of Hoya aside for the fan base out there.
That was good of you.
Playing some great Badgers, a lot of great Badger tournament moments, trying to find as many as I can to come back with today.
Day one of the NCAA tournament in earnest. Yes, we had play-in games in Dayton, but the actual brackets start today. It's the Thursday. It's what everybody points to. Nobody takes off for Tuesday and Wednesday of tournament week.
No.
Thursday and Friday. Right, if you're doing it right. 877-794-1973, NicolaLaw.com talking text line. What's your strategy for today? Did you finagle it to get the day off? If you were thinking about taking Thursday or Friday off, for some it's easier to take Friday off because that's the day a lot of people
very much
flip
so.
off.
Yes,
but the Badgers play today. So what's the move? Is it to suck it up today, work through the Badger game, and then like enjoy like happy hour tonight and take tomorrow off, or is it take today and enjoy the Badgers and roll into today and then bluff your way through a hungover Friday at work? What's the move?
I always think that it's more fun to really fool them tomorrow, right? Like, and just know that you've got one day in the bank and had the most fun possible. Tomorrow, you roll in a little bit later. You spend a lot of time at the coffee machine or the water cooler. And by 11, you're hitting that boss button on the NCAA app, and you're feeling really good about that one Penske file spreadsheet that you pull up every single time anybody actually walks by.
Yeah, and the schedule's different than it used to be. I mean, there's more games at night now than there is in the daytime than there used to be in the NCAA tournament. But I agree with Billy a little bit in terms of you got to know your business. All right, obviously, if you're doing something like maybe construction where you're at a site working outside, we
don't want you hitting the boss button,
and you got to be off to actually watch the games. But if you're in the right kind of office and the right kind of situation, it's almost better to be at work because this is the day everybody's going to be slow walking it and watching games.
I was just talking to a friend of ours from one of the stations down the hall, and it wasn't that long ago in this very building here at headquarters. There would be a Bloody Mary bar.
I was going to say
snacks.
That was it.
And we had
Is Colleen doing it? I mean,
I don't.
Some pizzas. Oh yeah.
So
that's
I
like,
mean, we've
like,
been hollowed out. That was 10 years ago. Things were a lot different pre-COVID.
And you know what? They're trying to get people. A lot of offices are trying to get people to come
sharing food in the workplace.
They want culture. That was for the culture. You
Yeah.
want people to work on Thursday during the tournament and Friday. Well, make it part of the work day.
Totally.
Get some zing-zang in here.
And
everybody
big screen. We've been watching games. There's no bracket contest that I'm aware of in the office. And again, we're kind of isolated.
I should have ran one.
Given our hours and stuff. But yeah, if you want to build the culture, that's one way to do it.
It's
totally
the best way.
And
wear red today for the Badgers if you're, at XYZ Corp.
Yeah, everyone's trying to get people back to the office. This is one way they're going to do it. Like, we'll have the games on. Everyone's got millions of screens now up.
It's going to be fun.
I mean, it's not
a good party day.
So this isn't 1996 when you had one TV in the teacher's aide office and that guy rolled it in.
And somebody rolled in the TV, which these kids are never going to know the electricity of that moment.
Never know. The one guy.
God,
I think Mr. K. I think the health teacher, the business teacher, has that TV in his room.
Before the Brewers games were on TV, again, our teacher, fourth grade, he's putting a radio for opening day, and we'd listen to the game. Sure. That's when we did a whole unit of him teaching us how to score, like a logical thing.
That is so
teaching
awesome.
kids. We did a whole hour.
That's education.
This is how you keep score of a game. And while the game was happening, we all kept score. He did it on the chalkboard. We did it in our own notebooks. It was kind of cool.
It was Mrs. Gemignani, who was my sixth grade teacher, English teacher. She was the first one to say, "Hey, Billy, you should probably try to figure out how to talk sports because you can't do anything else. But you're really good at this.
Good advice.
You're really good at this. So you should keep trying to do this." And she was the one that, again, people were like, would always give her the side eye at St. Mary's Parish School. We can't be watching games. Basketball? We need to have religion class. What are we talking about here? And she would wheel that big old stanchion into the room before the day of smartboard. Now I don't even know if you're going to get that electricity.
No idea.
When you flip the HDMI on the smartboard to 2 and all of a sudden cable pops up, or you're just firing up YouTube TV. It's not nearly as good. But that feeling of knowing, man, we're going to get 45 minutes here where everybody else walking down the hall, looking through that little sliver of the window,
on the
door is going to say,
They're watching. They're watching games.
They're watching the games in there.
Yeah,
that's not fair. And then trying to like weasel their way in during the passing periods. What a great moment if a teacher's able to do that today.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Need to know your strategy for your brackets, perhaps, or even just today. How you working it today to get the maximum viewing of the tournament. And this is where, again, the existential crisis. Time moves on, but I'm convinced in some way, somehow, the tournament used to be better. Like I'm doing a little TV thing today, and they're asking, "What's your favorite tournament memory?" And I remember it going back to before you could watch every game, before you had to go hunt for True TV. That's the annual rite of passage. Where the hell is True TV?
I had a hell of a time logging in last night.
Where the hell is it?
I had a hell of a time logging in.
Like that whole,
I don't have a subscription.
That whole finding the games thing,
Yeah.
right?
Always tough. Yes.
Always tough. But when there wasn't that, and you had one channel showing games, they debuted like 25 years ago. They soft launched the Red Zone channel.
That was it.
And it felt like you were watching every game, even though you were only on one channel. It felt like you knew the tournament. Like, let's go now to the East region. Let's go to Lexington. And they would take you there, and they would dump out of games that were bad, which, no problem.
Never going to be upset about losing that game.
As long as it wasn't local, you didn't care.
Some teams up by 30, you don't
Greg
need to
Gumbel
see
was
that.
the original Scott Hansen. He was the
No
original
question.
in maybe,
No
Pat O'Brien
question.
a little
And
bit.
so I
Rest
look
in
at the
peace, Greg.
tournament, and then I go, and then you look at the ball, and there's been years where I watch it, and you watch the end game execution, and you're just like, how can it be this bad? How can it be like this? How can the product be this bad? And I've seen games where you just go, this isn't a great game. And it is different. It's a different entity. It's still great, but is it as great as it was? I don't know. Maybe it's just the fog of getting older, and you say everything was better when you were younger.
You will always have a little bit more wistful thought of what used to be. I think there was also just some true unknown about all of these teams, right? Because we had our friend Pete said Wisconsin's disowning, or Billy's disowning Wisconsin. If they choke and lose to some random High Point school nobody knew existed until now, that's not good. And I'm right there with you. But the thing is, you could probably have watched every High Point game in conference this year if you have the ESPN Plus app, right? And like the accessibility to see some of these teams, you had no way of watching Northern Arizona for 25, 30 years. Now,
that was part of the excitement.
You very much could see every single one. So that part of it, you'll never get back. Yeah. And I'm with you, Drew, like that part of the unique, complete unknown, we won't see. Because there will be one hardcore guy as well. Actually, Ken Palm has had Akron as one of the 38 best teams in basketball all year long. And now we actually know what's happening there with Akron in the Zips.
Well, we do. And the thing is, High Point's been in the tournament the last couple of years. I think that for some people that kind of dulled maybe some of the energy some fans might have had when they're trying to pick a random upset, especially at 12-5. About High Point is that they, were a sexy pick last year, and Purdue beat the drums out of them. So, yeah, I think that definitely dulls the excitement for somebody, because people are out there trying to pick upsets all the time. They become experts this time of year, and they're like, I think this team's gonna win this and that. But yeah, it's funny when Pete says that, because I don't see many people saying High Point could even be an upset pick. So we'll see. You never know in the tournament.
Here's the thing, that's where we get into it. And yeah, all right, you're gonna be mad like if the Badgers don't win. Doesn't mean Greg Gard should be fired. You've watched this season. You've seen what he's done over recent years, right? Have the Badgers had a good season?
Clearly, they've had a great body of work.
Good body of work. They won games. Now, did they stub their toe a bunch of times? Yeah, sure. Could they have been a higher seed? And if they lose today, it's like, well, if they'd have been a higher seed, they wouldn't have had to play high. Well, you got to play who's in front of you, right? But as you watch it, it could happen. They could lose today.
Yeah.
But I still think that this has been a pretty successful season. And
clearly,
all you can do is all you can do. And they're going into the tournament with, if Nolan Winter's healthy, I don't know, like Janicki may or may not be waiting in the wings to make an appearance at some point, but they're pretty healthy and they're playing pretty good ball. Like the last couple of weeks, they played pretty good ball. They're the point where no one wants to play them. Now, could they lose today, or could they lose and get boat raced by Arkansas on Saturday? Sure. But what does that do with the season? Again, it's a small sample. It's a random.
Right.
It's a randomizer. It's a tournament that's built on upsets. It's win or go home. So anything can happen. But I still think I'll be surprised if I'll be shocked if the Badgers lose today.
Me
but
too.
not surprised if they don't make it to the second weekend, because Arkansas is pretty good. And it's not easy to win in the tournament. Well, it's not easy to get to the second weekend. But then it's like, okay, big picture. How mad should we be? Let's calibrate our our anger and disgust. A lot of it depends on how they play. We've seen it before. If the Badgers aren't hitting threes, they're susceptible to Parkside, right? It can get ugly.
That's
early.
the reality. Yeah,
that's the reality. If they're not hitting threes, if they have a bad shooting day, they're susceptible. If they're hitting threes, they can win the whole thing.
They have variance
so
here. Yeah,
that's
extreme.
what you want. And it's I'm like, will it? Okay, I'm trying to imagine tomorrow's show if the Badgers lose, right? And it's like, whoa, how mad? So how mad will I be? How I need to calibrate my outrage because I can't envision a place even if they lose by 30, I'm not going to open the mic tomorrow and say Greg Gard's got to go.
But
I'm just going to be stunned. Yeah,
that'll be stunned. But that'll be the emotional response from a lot of fans who value March, and understandably so.
It's like saying should Shaka go because they didn't make the tournament and they lost 20 games.
I mean, this is the time of year if you're a passionate fan that it matters what happens now. So there's going to be a point where it's like, well, you should get it done now, and that's what you should be judged on. But I think there are more that say, listen, that's not what you should only be judged on because it's not. It's the Miami. There's a short-sighted way of looking at it, but that's what matters.
It's
the most.
It's analogous to last year's Brewers season. We had an incredible time. They led the major leagues in wins. They made it to the NLCS and got boat raced and were uncompetitive and got steamrolled.
Yeah,
in a 4-game sweep. All right, so did that negate the other parts of the season that we enjoyed and that we liked, or can you separate the two? Probably not. They didn't get there. They didn't win. Well, okay. Well, I'm old enough to remember when making the NLCS would be a big enough deal to have a parade.
Yeah, when we would be celebrating at the Summerfest grounds and throwing a big old party. I also equated it, Drew, almost to like the 2016 Packers when they go down to Atlanta. If anybody thought they were winning that game, I got a great beachfront property for you in Montana. Like there's not a whole lot that you're going to be doing there in that run for the Badgers. Like in the last 4 or 5 years, if it would be let's do it. Cliche Sports Radio time. 877-794-1973. Is this second weekend or bust for the Wisconsin Badgers? Or should Greg Gard be fired if they don't go to the second weekend? Like out of the last 3 or 4 years, I think you probably could have made that case the least for this year, even though I probably feel better about them going into this year's tournament than those other ones because of the backcourt.
They got 2 guards. They're playing great, but it's sports.
People focus a lot about, did you underachieve or overachieve, but they always leave out the middle. Like they always, sometimes you can just achieve. I think that there's a part of that too. When Marquette was playing Vermont 2 years ago, and Billy, I was just talking to you about this yesterday. They had a great year, but I think it would have been a failure to lose to a 15th seed Vermont. But I think the failure is less so when you lose to Michigan State in the second round. Does that make sense? There's a level of you definitely underachieve if you get upset in that first round. That is a disappointment if you're a higher or lower seed, however you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you lose to a comparable team in the second round, close game. Last year, the Badgers lost to BYU. John Tonje was 1 shot away. They didn't play badly. They weren't embarrassing. They weren't disappointing. They lost a close game to a good team in the second round of the tournament. That's achieving. That's what happens. That's normal result. So I agree with you there. Now, if you get blown out by a team people think you should beat, it's a different reaction.
More than any reason why you can't lose today is because you will then be the highlight sizzle reel all tournament long. Yeah, because it means you're probably getting goal keyed. Right, like this cat number 99 is going to go unconscious.
Yeah, Chase
Johnston.
Yeah,
and he's going to throw the sweater and tie it around his neck and walk off. Like it just sounds like the preppiest name you possibly could have at the country club. That's going to be a bad feeling. Mm-hmm. That's going to be maybe the most painful part, Drew, because you'd have to relive it. So you can't lose today. Then all bets are off, I think, on Saturday. But most importantly, you can't lose today because I want to talk to Matt LePay tomorrow.
That's right.
I want to talk to Matt LePay tomorrow and have him be in a good mood, or maybe later on today because of the time change. We'll figure something out. But I want to be able to hear the voice of the Badgers.
Yes.
Previewing another game. I'm not ready for this thing to be done.
Let's get it. It's the first day of the tournament. Oh, baby. We're just the pregame show. We're the hors d'oeuvre. We're the appetizer. The wake and bakers, if you will.
We're the little weenies.
Glad you're hanging out with us on the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
2 to go. Trip to the Sweet 16. Caney's got it. Rises up. The shot. And it's good! It's good! Wisconsin has won it!
What a great call by Brian Anderson. Armen bringing us back with Badgers highlights. First day of the NCAA Tournament. March Madness is upon us on this 19th of March in the good land. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you from headquarters, 877-794-1973. NicolaLaw.com talking text line. BA will not be on the sidelines in Buffalo today because his voice was so cashed on Tuesday when he's working with Barkley and Vital that they decided to give him a breather, and they went to the bullpen for a promising young broadcaster named Jason Benetti. Who
I've heard of him before.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I've heard of him before. Soon to be Sunday Night Baseball.
One of the best.
Lead broadcaster, which I think is going to be awesome sound.
Absolute best. So Jason Benetti, that's a pretty good fill-in. Good opportunity for him doing
pinch hitter.
Bummed for BA because he looks forward to that 4-game,
Well, and he's awesome. So I'm
cramming
for
for
us.
that exam.
Yeah, it stinks for us. Now, I will say we do need to find somehow for them to call, I don't know, the match or whatever. Brian Anderson, Dick Vitale, Charles Barkley.
Let's go.
We need to get that trio again because that
All
was
healthy.
Phenomenal of Brian Anderson. Still a little bit dinged, but he was playing a phenomenal point guard referee. Also, just like student aid teacher, it felt like in the middle there of like, hey guys, can you just quiet down for 1 second while I call the game? Just give me 1 quick second while I tell them who scored the last 17 points. Like that was just too good. We need them in another setting. The madness of March, does it bring us more of a maddening or crazy look than what Jonathan Kuminga did last night? Did you guys see this one from the Atlanta Hawks now star where he accidentally hit a full quarter court shot? Looked like he's trying to He's trying to baseball pass this thing up the floor to an alley-oop, and instead from the other lane drops it in. Now, I'd be interested to hear how a college basketball announcer would be calling this one here today. But there's going to be 1 or 2 shots here today that I don't know that it's going to go full Kevin Harlan style, where it looks like he's fallen out of his chair. But there's going to be some phenomenal calls.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing about the first 2 days of the tournament is you're going to be blessed when you wake up with some great moment somewhere. I mean, you almost always are. And then when we don't get those, that's when it becomes disappointing for people. So, yeah, I would say we're going to get it somewhere. You just hope it's not you that gets miracled or whatever like that, especially when you're a higher seed. But
last year was all chalk. We had 4 number 1 seeds advance to the Final Four. People like that as long as there's upsets along the way, as long as you get a 5-12, not High Point, Wisconsin. But if you get a 5-12, you mix in some upsets. Somebody was saying, when's the last time we had an actual buzzer beater? Like a shot with, no
that
time
ended
left.
the game. Yeah.
That ended the game.
Well,
it's been a couple of years.
I'm sure we're just forgetting.
Because you make a shot now and it's like, oh, there's 0.3 left or there's 0.5 left or something. But an actual walk-off, that's the last shot of the game. Like buzzer beater.
Sadly, I'm thinking.
I don't know. It seemed to be you get 1 or 2 every.
There's not as many as you think. The ones that I'm remembering, Jordan Pools from Michigan, as he hit that thing when time expired, and that sent them to the Sweet 16, right? But that was, dang, you're already looking at 2018 for that one.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
College Basketball Reference has a list of them, but I don't know if any of these. Milos Uzan had one last year. Is that correct? In the Houston Purdue in the round of
Butler
16
versus Florida.
Derek Queen had the buzzer beater last year for Maryland.
Derek Queen. Yep, that was a good one. Remember, I'm kind of from Baltimore.
Yeah, Amar Knox in the 16-16. I do remember that in the 16 play-in there was a buzzer beater. I don't know if you count that. If we don't count the play-in as a tournament.
Well, 2016 play-in isn't even showing like, man, it doesn't happen as often necessarily as you would think.
Good call on the Jordan Poole, but you're right though, Drew. Like a true buzzer beater, where the horn goes off midair and not where there's like, we're gonna go refresh the time and go look for extra time and get around the monitor because that does kill the moment a bit, But
But you're gonna have to.
You're gonna have to do it. I mean, you
Jalen
watch
Suggs, Lamont Butler did it in the semis, which is pretty amazing.
Suggs was in the COVID year, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And he had himself a hell of a celebration.
Chris Jenkins hit one like to win it.
Kind of to win the national
that was
title.
the buzzer beater.
Yeah,
and then
that's a
Seth,
10-year anniversary now.
And then Seth Davis had to go on Twitter and say, actually, the funny thing about that was they would have had to clean up the confetti if there was time left in the clock. So the guy was premature in the confetti. I'm like, brother, the buzzer went off like as it left his hand, pretty much.
I'm loving
it.
it.
It wasn't
really
even close. So
according
Seth
to
Davis,
sportsreference.com, the same people that bring us baseball reference.
College basketball reference, same group. Yeah.
Sports reference, it'd be sports-reference.com. March Madness game-winning buzzer beaters. There's been 134, and they chart them.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I got the Milos Uzan.
Would there be?
So it's nice to see that
they have the information like the opponent, the type of basket, the margin, the time, 0.9 seconds. Who assisted, the distance.
Oh, wow.
And of the last few, several have been layups.
I don't know that there was a better one, though, than homeboy from Northern Iowa. And what was that, 2015, 2016? Beats Texas and just like so casually hits it to midcourt.
Paul Jesperson beat
half-court shot just clean
50-footer.
It's just one of the craziest shots you could have ever seen. And everybody on Texas is like, wait a second. You're not allowed to do that, right? Hey, we're going to wave that off, right? There's no way he's allowed to just Euro step into a 50-footer.
Paul Jesperson, Merrill, Wisconsin native. If you guys remember.
Paul Jesperson, but that was also on the same day. Northern Iowa beat Texas, and then Iowa won on the same day.
Ooh,
for Temple.
Wow.
Buzzer beater
What a day
on
for
a
them.
layup. So what a day for Iowa. Dolph's going to be in.
He's the head coach of the Valley Suns now.
And we'll talk to Dolph about how hot things are in Iowa. Now, Bronson Koenig hit a buzzer beater with an assist from Ethan Happ 10 years ago.
Which is just crazy to think it was 10 years ago.
It's hard to believe.
So yeah, buzzer beaters is part of the stew of what we love about the NCAA tournament. Fantastic.
Yeah, the James, what was it, James Forrest, right? When that one happened in Milwaukee in 91 or 92
that's
for Georgia
a famous
Tech,
one.
where Al McGuire called it and had that great holy mackerel call.
That is a famous
We
one.
obviously talk about Bryce Drew all the time.
There was a buzzer beater a couple of years ago that was even worse, though, because I think it was Gonzaga. I can't even remember what directional school they're playing, and I got Gonzaga laying 3.5, and homeboy knocks down a half quarter to lose by 2. And you just get absolutely heartbroken at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. These are the games that aren't done yet.
Keith Smart hit one to win in 87 for
He won
Indiana.
the championship over Syracuse. Yep.
He did indeed.
He sweat? Sorry, Smart.
That's where one shining moment started.
Really?
It is indeed. It is indeed.
So that's what to blame is.
877-794-1973 gets you NicolaLaw.com talk and text line. Shooting shirts are off. We're getting ready for the tournament. Got a little Bucks to talk about. Hunter Baumgart's going to give us the latest on the Brewers as they get ready to break camp. A lot of questions about injuries and the rotation and stuff. It's gonna be
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and to try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the good boy got to do. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after you and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Rolling along the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Where else could we be? Oh, we're on Spotify and of course, Apple Podcasts.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever you get your podcasts. If you miss us, take us with you wherever and whenever you may be. We're hanging out today. It's the first day of the NCAA Tournament. March Madness is upon us. So, strategies for today. Some people getting up early, getting their workout in, getting the Penske file put away so they can take off at 11 and
Could be doing that.
Pre-game and watch it. So you put in a half day today, if that possible. What's the strategy for exiting and watching ball? Because a lot of people make this like immutable. Like it is, I get these 2 days off, my two vacation days, Thursday and Friday, the first weekend of the tournament.
Well, you got to take pictures. You got to have the special chair.
Crush the wings, get the special chair.
And I always had when we in Drew, you doing the afternoons on this, it was this isn't really the one that you want to take off, right? These days, if you're doing afternoon radio, don't necessarily want to take off. But a lot of times it means sweet sports bar situation.
Yeah, exactly. Go to Champs. Whatever.
That's what I'm thinking.
We'll be doing the show. We'll be in the bar. Everybody will walk on over. Maybe we'll get a little pizza in here. We'll have some Buffalo Wild Wings. We'll enjoy it that way. Then otherwise, man, I just, and I had too many times of it. We get a lot of it with day baseball. I think there's nothing better than really feeling like you're pulling one over on the boss.
That's it right there. I'm with you, Billy.
There's nothing better
work.
Working smarter, not harder.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to, now whether that just means earbud in old school, like how we used to in the 2000s when you're trying to listen to music during class,
sure,
and you're weaving that wired headphone because you don't want any of those weird things about the wireless headphones. You just weave that thing in and you're just kind of like leaning up against your sleeve so no one sees the headphone that's in there. Or you just, like all the kids are doing nowadays, just walk around with one AirPod in. And you're just getting in a Westwood One feed.
Oh,
yeah. Rolls through. You were talking old school Red Zone. Man, Westwood One's doing that on the radio. And we're going to hear Jason Horowitz whipping it around to all different coverage. You can get that in and you're just cruising all day if you're on a work site.
Yeah, 2003, I was a freshman in Marquette. I had the earbud in because we had a history class or, whatever they called it. I don't know, something American government. Right during the Holy Cross game. First game of the tournament, second half. And, I'm Armen, so I'm going to class.
No chance you were not
I'm not missing class, but I had the earbud.
How many classes did you miss in college?
Not many, but I did miss a few, but not many. I just didn't.
Under at 5.5.
I just like, what am I paying for this class? That's what you think about.
Oh, that was my mantra too. Never study, but I went to class.
No, I was there. I probably should have skipped a couple more. I would have got some more sleep. But anyway, all right. So going to class, had the earbud in. There was like a third of us in there. It was a Holy Cross second half. I'm listening to the radio, obviously, at the time. And, man, I'm forgetting his name, so I'm sorry, but he let us go. He said, all right, you guys just go home, go watch it. Because everybody was locked into the Marquette game that year, obviously. So I felt like that was the moment right there that I'm like, you know what? You did the right thing, Armen. You were rewarded for it. You still showed up to class. Professor saw you in class, and he still let you guys go. So that was pretty awesome. So that was a moment right there. That's the way you used to do it, though. That's the way you had to do it. But you're right, Billy. Now, I've always been blessed to work in radio where TVs were on. So I never thought about, skipping work that day because there was really no point in doing it, because you could watch at work. And like you said, it's almost better to be at work for some of these things. And but you can't do that with every job. I get that. A lot of the blue collar jobs, You got to be off to be off. I totally get that. But my strategy would be, if you can do it like Billy just said, pulling over on the boss, a little slow work, a little environment there. Yeah, make it happen. Just watch it work.
877-794-1973. NicolaLaw.com talk text line. Badgers firing up just before 1 o'clock today from Portland. And Inside Baseball, I signed up for a little TV commitment and a taping of a Spectrum Sports Roundtable today.
Not particularly the greatest choice.
It's going to happen right in the throes of the back half of the second half. We're supposed to be taping.
Can't say
Russ
no to
Douglas.
Yeah.
Not great planning on my part.
Oh, but it's going to be such a good show. It's going to be such a good program.
You can't talk about the Badgers because we won't know what happened. I'm going to be like...
Well, luckily you can talk about that Red Hawks game from last night.
Yeah, there you go.
Be excited about the Red Hawks of Miami of Ohio. Or, sadly, you can talk about the situation going on with our pro basketball team. And how about, as you talk about supporting local journalists, man, kudos to Eric Name for getting the story a good 20 minutes before Shams tried to steal all of the conversation yesterday on the Giannis Antetokounmpo thing that, maybe 3 months ago, Drew, if this story breaks the day before the NCAA tournament, there's a lot more Bucks and basketball fans in the state of Wisconsin talking about it. Now it's like, oh yeah, okay, we got you. We understand. We know that we're upset. We know that
Eric
it's not
Name's
great.
Story said that the Bucks have explored the idea and broached the idea of sitting Giannis for the rest of the season, and Giannis wants to play.
Vehemently denied it, or vehemently is against it. And Drew, this would have been a great one for Hot Take Hump Day. However, I don't know that I'm really hot on either side of the aisle because I get both sides of it.
Intellectually, it makes no sense because if you're going to trade him, you don't want to risk him to injury. There's nothing to play for. They're not going to the play-in tournament. They're not it's not in the cards. So just suck it up, get the better draft pick, lose games without Giannis. And then we said, selfishly, if this is Giannis's last go-round, we need to kind of send him some flowers and watch those games and celebrate and see it because we want to see it. We don't want him to go out in street clothes. So I'm completely neutral about it, but it's a big story. And if that's going to be, if there is smoke here and Giannis wants to play and the Bucks don't want him to play, and maybe it'll make the divorce more palatable when it happens.
Well, is this the basketball version of Max Crosby? So now do we just have to see? Are we gonna have to see Giannis fail a physical somewhere? They don't want me playing because I'm kind of dinged up, and now they're
more about it's not you, it's me, or what? Differing agendas here, where Giannis can say, "I wanted to play, I wanted to give it all," and then
And I struggle with it from the Bucks side of things. Totally get it that you can add 3 ping pong balls if you're the 8th worst team compared to the 10th worst team, whatever it ends up being.
Bucks already don't have their pick because they
don't have control of the pick. So if
it's going to be a good pick.
It should be a good pick. It'll be one of the better picks that they've had in a long time. But right now, at worst, it can be is the 11th pick or the 12th pick. Because if somebody jumps you immediately go back one slot.
Yeah.
We just watched a team that was in the freaking play-in tournament playing a guy that they traded for, deciding they were going to shift their entire philosophy around, ship off one of the most beloved players in franchise history, still try to go to the playoffs. They lose because they got drummed in the play-in tournament, and they get lucky with the superstar number 1 overall pick in Dallas. This is a lottery. This is a coin flip situation. So I'm not taking every single bit of data into it and being like, well, I got to make sure that we lose this amount of games so we have such a better chance of being able to get this unproven player. The most important thing is if you can develop the guy. And that, to me, Drew, from the Bucks side, would be the biggest question. They don't have anybody outside of Giannis who are first-round picks that they have developed over the last number of years that in their incubator has become a sensational player.
Right.
Or let alone 18-point-a-game guy, right? They haven't developed any of those guys. So I'm not all that worried whether it's the 7th pick or the 11th pick. I'm more worried about how are you going to make that player better if they're in your building. The Bucks side of it, I'm looking at it man, you've had 5 injuries this year. But 5 injuries this year. Both calves, now a knee, we've had an ankle, the back's always a question. Maybe we all just agree it's not our year, it's not your year. and we get you healthy for next. Like, to me, it's not even a pitch of we want to lose games so we can try to go get AJ from BYU or the Peterson cat that's load managing in his freshman year of college. But that's not, to me, the point here. The point is try to make sure you are healthy for the longevity of your career, and this is a gap year blip on the radar. Next year, you can go win MVP.
Yeah, no wear and tear in your body. And maybe it's not even here, but we don't want you to have the wear and tear down the road. Now, whether or not he believes that he has injuries or wear and tear, I guess maybe that's part of the disagreement. Or the tough thing is, do you want to sign Giannis long term? And if you do, will this affect how that goes? That's the number one crux of this deal. I can't imagine it would be, because any intelligent person would at least see the Bucks' interest in this and understand the point. And if you wanted to be here, that's fine. But maybe he can look at it competitively and say, I want to know that you care about, you're desperate to win. And not really sure. I would doubt that the decision you make for the last 14 games is going to be the tipping point whether or not he signs the extension. But who knows?
NBA is about to accept its fate for 2 weeks. They go back burner, which is not the worst thing in the world at this juncture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
it's not great ball right
there was a tweet last night from none other than Bill Simmons.
Yeah. One of the biggest NBA fans in the media there is.
Tweeted the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City 60, Brooklyn 24 at halftime. He said, let's definitely add 2 more teams.
That's what we need, 2 more teams. Yeah, we definitely
Vegas and Seattle apparently on a gilded path to getting expansion franchises very soon and adding billions and billions to the coffers of the existing teams. But that is going to water down things even more.
Mm-hmm. Going to make the
and what you have now in the NBA is like, incredible stories. Oklahoma City, just a wagon, right? They've won 10 in a row. Look at the bottom of the standings. Look where the Bucks are. The Bucks are on the 11 line, so they're way out of the play-in. And it's the same thing in the Western Conference. Like the Warriors are struggling without Curry, and they lost last night. They've lost 8 of their last 10, but they're in the play-in because they have such a prohibitive lead over Memphis. So they're the 10th. They're locked in, and basically Steve Kerr's like, well, we know we're playing in the play-in game.
Yeah, we're going to be here.
We're in the play-in game.
We'll figure out if we can win or
not. But you look beyond the play-in game and look how teams are playing. And Memphis won their most recent game, but they've lost 8 of 10. New Orleans rising up a little bit.
They just battled last night. They won
2 in a row.
Yes.
Dallas has lost 2 in a row. Utah Bucks play them next. They've lost 4 in a row. The Sacramento Kings have lost 5. Well, they're 5-5. They're 500 over their last stretch of games.
God bless the folks that are watching Bucks Jazz here
but
tonight.
These teams at the back and the teams in the East, I mean, the Wizards and Pacers are the dregs of the East, and the Wizards have lost 13 in a row. Pacers have lost 15 in a row.
This has been those.
Look at from the Bucks on down. The Bucks have lost 1 in a row, but 8 of their last 10. The Bulls have lost 1 in a row, 6 of their last 10. And then the Nets have lost 5 in a row and 8 of their last 10. This is just pathetic. These teams at the bottom that are not even trying. It's pathetic. It's awful.
Well, and Drew, I think there's a couple of ways that you can rectify it for the league, and one of which is taking away a certain amount of the pick protections, right? Like the lack of ability to protect like Indiana, you mentioned them. They've lost 15 games in a row. So they're like what, the 3rd or 4th worst team record-wise in the NBA. Well, they're actually incentivized to make sure that they're in that pocket, not because of the ping pong balls, but because of the trade that they made for Zubats at the deadline is a 2026 first round pick to the Clippers, but it's heavily protected. If it's 1 through 4, the Pacers keep their pick and they give them like their 2030 something pick. If it's 10 through 30, the Pacers keep their pick. But the most likely scenario is it's pick 5 through 9. And then it goes to the Clippers. So like there's a window as to where you can get it. And everybody's like, we're going to desperately make sure we get this first round pick. Doesn't matter how ugly it is because we just went to the finals a year ago. And like, that's the way the league can shift this. Get rid of the draft lottery.
Right.
Like
that's one way
you eliminate the draft lottery, and then it is a true rank and file, and you're going to figure out how good you can make yourself and how quickly you can ascend to the top. Because right now it's a system as to you're sitting there for poker reference, a chip in a chair to get the number 1 pick. And the other part for the Bucks, you mentioned the one team in there that's being a little feisty. They won last night over the Clippers with the Pelicans. Well, the Pelicans are the team that control your draft fate, right? That pick doesn't go to the Pelicans. I want to say it's rerouted somewhere to the Hawks, I think. So the Hawks will get the better of the Bucks or Pelicans first round picks. But if the Pelicans are trying to win, they might pass you. And it's going to end up on June 13th, whatever the end up draft lottery day is. Then you'll figure out where it slots in. But I'm also looking at Jalen Williams was like the 12th pick in the draft. Giannis was the 15th pick in the draft.
Yeah, Shea,
to say that you can only hit it big with the top 4 picks, I just don't think is the case anymore. And it's more about how you develop that player once they get into your building. From the Giannis standpoint, though, I totally get the hesitation to wanting to sit. You are a basketball player. It's what brings you joy and happiness in the world, and you haven't been able to do it all year long. But I would wonder if at some point somebody in his inner circle is saying, hey, man, it's no longer about you playing games in 26, right? Like, we need to make this as big of a stink as possible.
Right.
If you truly want to get out of here. And Kendrick Perkins was talking about it yesterday. He's like, do I feel bad for Giannis? Hell no. He's like, he made the decision to not be the bad guy at the deadline if he truly wanted that. And now we're going to see if it ends up him being the bad guy this summer or if it just gets weirder.
And it's going to be awkward until the season's over. So this season is end for everybody. That's
what
the
if
reality.
it's as simple as Giannis wants to smell the roses and play as many games as he can at Fiserv before he dips?
Might be that, yeah.
Want to play the home games and want to say goodbye to the crowd.
If he would come out and say that, there'd be a groundswell of support saying,
that's
let him play.
Yeah, that's the difference. And because
But
he
he
won't,
won't.
you'll never actually get the.
But Eric got
need.
that from somewhere.
Correct.
Right?
He got that from somewhere. Eric got
Whether
that from
it's
somewhere.
from Thanasis or like somewhere, somebody in the inner circle. And Giannis talks about how his inner circle is basically Thanasis, Kostas, and Alex.
Yeah, of course.
That's like his circle. So, yeah, it's interesting. That's just a no-win situation.
How about this? Do we see
I don't want Giannis to be done, or just tell us like he's going to play one more game so we can all pack the joint and give him a farewell.
You have to.
So you can
You
sell a
have
bunch
to
of tickets.
just get it. The season end to put the decision in front of his face about the extension. I think that's the best
It reminds me of when Jeff Jenkins played his last game at Miller Park, which is the artist formerly known as Miller Park. And everybody kind of knew he was going to be gone. And I think it might have been Ned Yost at the time. His last game, he jogs out for the 9th inning to play defense. And Ned's like, went and got him. He's like, Billy, you got to pull him out, let him jog in and get an ovation. And that's what they did because they kind of knew. And that little tip of the cap was a nice gesture, right? Didn't cost anybody anything. Didn't mean anything in the grand scheme. Like, that's the thing about selfishly, I want to see Giannis play as many games as I can in a Milwaukee jersey because we don't know how much more time we got with the guy.
Yeah, and you got 5 games. You got 5 home games, right? Yeah. Like, so if he's going to play home games, then that's fine. Then have him play home games. And I also don't think, Drew, that changes your leverage in the offseason. Right.
No,
Whatever leverage you think or theoretically you have all rests in how aggressively he wants to force his way out and to a certain institution and to a certain team and a different organization, or he just wants to go to a team that can win and you can take it to the highest bidder. But I've wanted to see him play again. I've wanted to be able to see it in person. I totally get why he wants to play. But I don't believe it's the Bucks saying, hey, man, we really want to make sure that we can get Peterson from Kansas with the 8th pick instead of the 10th pick. You can look at it very cleanly and say, brother, you've been hurt all year long. The best thing for you, let alone what us. Don't even worry about what's best for us. We're worried about what's best for you. And what might be best for you right now is to look at 26, 27.
Yeah.
And Drew, like you said, just make sure you're ready for what you care about the most, brother. Make sure you're ready for Eurobasket. Make sure you're ready for the summer. Play with the Greek team, and then we'll figure out, where you're playing NBA games next year.
Yeah. We could have the same conversation 2 months ago, and we kind of did.
100%. Rinse and repeat.
Right.
It's to the point where you can definitely tell this summer is going to be the summer of 34, and it does feel like it's the summer of goodbye 34.
Summer of Shams. More hate for Shams. Did you see? Everybody's hating, everybody's dumping on Shams because all these writers were camped trying to break the story of the WNBA's negotiations on their CBA, and someone leaked it to Shams, and he got the story.
I did.
Everybody was in there slugging it out and fighting for scraps every day. They got douched.
Unfortunately, that's just the way it is when you build
how it
relationships.
is.
Yep.
That's how it goes.
The one that I didn't like even more was the fact that it was clearly a story in news broken by Eric Name. Eric Name had the story for damn near 20 full minutes out, and it said sources tell ESPN. Were those sources Eric Name's Twitter account?
Or the Athletics.
Were those sources The Athletic?
Yeah, that's kind of shady.
But we'll never see that, Nutrier's finest.
Well,
isn't doing that.
Nutrier's finest, but his Q rating is dropping compared to Woj's all those years. People are kind of looking back with fond memories, wistful memories of the Woj years.
Indeed.
Saying, come on, Shams, a little bit of
877-794-1973. When we come back, Scott Dolphin's going to join us. It's halftime of the greatest day of sports in the year, the greatest stretch of the sports for folks who love the tournament. It's going to be nice weather today. Good day to play hooky. Tomorrow's going to be nice as well. And we got basketball, a full slate of basketball. Badgers playing just before 1 o'clock today in Portland. You're listening to the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. It's halftime on the Huddle. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you from headquarters, streaming live, Facebook, X, YouTube, as well as being over the air, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app. We welcome our halftime correspondent, Scott Dolphin from the country station down the hall. Dolph, big day today. Big day.
Best 2 days in sports for me, Drew. I'd say as a sports fan, I would say I'm a football guy first and basketball probably second or baseball second. But these 2 days, you just can't beat the fun, man.
Can't beat it. It's wall to wall. It's 12 hours.
All over the place. Yep. It's nice. It's nice haven to be able to get. And also it's just fertile ground to be able to either one, play hooky, two, start having the one buddy that really is like, I'm not a sports guy. And then by the end of it is like, so what time are we getting here tomorrow?
Yeah.
What time do we get here tomorrow? Because I guess I'll hang out. I guess I'll go and watch some of the games with the guys.
It's almost as much as a social event as a Super Bowl Sunday is, right? If you're getting together with friends.
Yep. And it's longer and it's 2 days. Yeah. I would say so.
Yeah, that's always our Thanksgiving Super Bowl question. When do you consume more calories? Thanksgiving Day, Super Bowl Sunday, or the first 2 days of the NCAA tournament?
Good question, because when you think
beer's
of the drinks,
100 calories a pop.
It is.
Totally.
That's usually what carries the day for me.
Plus, you're probably, consuming a lot of bar food,
burgers,
tomorrow
wings,
fish fries, and all that.
Well,
stuff.
and the other thing is too, the tough one is for once I sit on the couch and I want to be able to watch the end of the game, the easiest way to not fall asleep is to continually stuff your face with popcorn or something, right?
Sure.
Continually snack might be the only way that I stay awake at that point.
Okay,
What
and
are
today,
those Funyuns? Oh, we got Funyuns.
I'll have some, yeah.
Today the Badgers are doing a lunchtime game, so I nervous eat. I try to eat before my team is on because I'll nervous eat. I'll just sit there and I'll just pound whatever's in front of me. Yeah, and not even know I'm eating it and not really enjoying
That's
eating
interesting,
it.
really.
I nervous eat when I watch my teams.
I usually don't have an appetite when one of my teams is playing a big game. I just get too nervous. However, if there's a small munch like crackers or like carrot sticks, just to munch away, like chewing gum almost, I get that a little bit. But usually, like I don't understand these people that can watch like the Packers in the NFC Championship game or divisional playoffs and be like, all right, what are we going to have during the game? I'm like, I'm too nervous to eat right now. Like you guys are wilding out on me right now.
Yeah,
But,
eating at halftime only.
Yeah.
Al Michaels style over there. He goes, all right, I'll turn around. I'll have my steak, no vegetables at halftime. And that's it.
That's hilarious.
All right. So for most of my life, the state of Indiana has been the basketball hotbed, right? Now they're the top of the mountain in college football. Iowa, however, has Iowa State, Iowa, and Northern Iowa in the tournament on the men's side, and the Iowa Hawkeyes women's team is in. Is Iowa now the Mecca? Is it now
Iowa State has the coolest college basketball player of all time right now.
Is it the hub of basketball in the heartland now?
I've never thought of it that way, Drew, but I guess you're right. It kind of has become, especially for women's basketball. Of course, Caitlin Clark started all that a couple of years ago. Actually, they've been good for a while, but Billy just mentioned Audie Crooks.
Come on now, Dolph.
She's a machine. And they're not even that high of a seed, are they? Iowa State women's basketball.
I think they're like the 9 seed. There's every dollar available on her over. Because that she's dropping in 30 today.
It's insane, though. It's insane that little Iowa. Look at this one.
It's true.
Hoops hotbed.
It's true. Now, many years you've had a couple teams in. Drake went. They won the Valley Conference the last 3 years before this year, but now Northern Iowa kind of comes out of nowhere. They were the 6th or 7th seed in that Missouri Valley tournament, and they've popped off several wins in a row. And they get St. John's. Is that who they play?
That sounds right.
I haven't checked the women's bracket. I'll admit that.
That's the men's bracket we're talking
about. That's the men's
bracket. I thought you were talking
bracket.
about the women's today.
AJ Green, of course, cheering for Northern Iowa.
Yeah,
St. John's is playing Northern Iowa. Yes, 5-12.
His coach, Ben Jacobson, has been there about 20 years, had multiple offers to go to Power 5 schools and coach at a higher level, and stayed at UNI, where they've got a great arena.
Cool campus, isn't it?
It's a great campus. It really is. It was probably the closest campus to where I grew up out of the major state universities in Iowa, which there are only 3. And, and they still play in the Uni Dome for football, which is probably 20,000 people.
Where they have the big garage door that the team runs out of.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Not to be confused with Upper Iowa. That's a totally different school.
Yes,
that's a
different one.
Fayette, Iowa. Cedar Falls is a good college town. It's a twin city with Waterloo, which is the bigger city in Iowa, but Cedar Falls is where UNI is, and lots of great parties there in my past.
Okay, I need to see some of the Scott Dolphin spots of Iowa. I need to get to Dolph's version of Iowa and give it a better chance.
The Dolph, Dolph's tour, right?
So I've been going along. I left basically right after college, but those 3 state universities are great party schools. But I know you have an affectionate place in your heart for Grinnell?
Yeah, the Western
College?
Iowa stuff
Oh,
sucks.
Grinnell.
So I want to see some of the Eastern Iowa and
I
see
agree.
if it's better than that.
Yeah.
Well, Iowa City should be number one on your bucket list for a Wisconsin Iowa football game.
Absolutely. Yep.
And then maybe you can go to Iowa State if you have.
Say, do I have to go to Zach?
You don't have to. You don't have to. It's Ames. I don't even know where Ames is.
Why aren't more people locally invested in the Cyclone experience, given that TJ Otzelberger is a Milwaukee native who went to Thomas More and played at Whitewater?
Well, and J.R. Blount, who was our current electric superhero of the day yesterday, he runs their defense, and now he's going to go be the head coach at San Diego.
That's
but
pretty awesome.
He was a Dominican guy, state player of the year.
And I kind of have a affectionate spot for them because, Otzelberger was with my guy, Mac, my high school teammate, Greg McDermott, at Iowa State many years ago when Greg McDermott was the coach at Iowa State. He brought TJ in, who was kind of green at that time, and then he goes to UNLV and makes a name for himself. And right out of Thomas More High School on Milwaukee's South Side.
Yes, indeed.
And look at their roster. What do they have? 3 Wisconsin guys, including the kid from Pewaukee, who's their leading scorer.
Milovic, yeah.
And then they've got the
Serbian sniper,
the West Dallas Central kid coming in next year, who was one of the best players.
Xavier, right?
Yes, Xavier Mitchell.
Yeah.
They've been getting a bunch of different guys throughout the state, and they've also been putting in the work. I mean, like you see them all the time at those Oshkosh North games trying to grab them. And I mean, let's not forget Tyrese.
Halliburton.
I mean, Tyrese is the one that kind of starts the whole thing.
Corey Lucius was there, though. I mean,
Corey Lucius.
Christopherson transferred from Marquette to there. There've been a
Deontay
lot.
Burton,
Deontay
who my wife
Burton,
taught in middle school,
transfer back.
was a Golden Eagle, and
there,
then Iowa State.
Deontay Garrett, I think, years ago.
Deontay Garrett's another one who my wife.
Really?
Right.
Yeah, there are so many that have gone. Iowa State has been a pipeline for a lot of Wisconsin kids. And why isn't it bigger? I mean, I think it is for some. I bet in the western part of the state, there's some fans that follow them strongly. If Guard wasn't from that part of the state too, you probably would have a little bit more. But since Guard is, there's a lot of support for Wisconsin as well.
It's Iowa's always been a place. Not so much the University of Iowa. They haven't had a lot of Wisconsin kids in basketball.
Iowa State, yeah.
But in football, the Hawks have had a lot of Wisconsin kids.
And Iowa State has a decent amount of them, especially Arrowhead kids.
Drew mentioned Northern Iowa. UNI has 3 kids in their starting lineup from the state of Wisconsin when they begin in season, including a kid from Tosa East. They have 3 guys that play a lot on that team. So I don't know why it is.
It's pretty wild.
Maybe because no, there's the same amount of Division I schools here that there is.
Yeah, same amount. In all reality, Dolph, it's the work. I mean, like TJ and JR, they put in the work on the recruiting trail and getting these guys over there, and they deserve a lot of credit for that. And it's also, I think it's one of those deals where sometimes you want to get a little bit away from the state,
but
right?
not too far.
If you don't get that offer, I think right away from the state, you might feel a little more jaded, and then you get the opportunity. They were there first. They're always working. And they end up grabbing some really, really good players. That's for sure.
Yeah, they do. So this is the one time a year that I will allow myself to hope Iowa State wins something. They were in Milwaukee the last 2 times.
They were.
They played really well
Wisconsin that year.
Beat Wisconsin, yeah. Did you, so how far will you put Iowa State in your bracket? Or will that be like a second weekend? Okay, good. And then you guys are done.
I think I have them going to the Elite Eight.
Okay.
Losing, I think. Yeah.
Well, they have that
squad.
If they win their first round, they have that Kentucky Santa Clara winner, which I think is definitely one that Santa Clara could win. So I think they could be facing 2 low seeds there.
I mean, the Cyclones, they're experienced. I mean, this is nothing new to them. So it wouldn't surprise me to see them go to the Final Four. They're that good. If you saw that game against Arizona in the Big 12 championship.
Yes.
I mean, they had that game until there was 1 second left anyway.
Well, in that Arizona, that's why I want to see that game again, right? Like Arizona's too good to not see. I think Arizona is going to be one of the most fun teams to watch in the tournament. And hopefully that's the out west matchup that the Badgers end up getting that Sweet 16 again.
Can you make the case, given we're talking about Iowa State, what was the best league this year in college?
I think
was it
the Big 12? I mean, I don't know about top to bottom because I don't even know who's in the Big 12 anymore, to be honest with you. I know there's some Florida schools in there, but look at Houston.
4 seeds: Arizona, Houston, Kansas, Texas Tech.
Yeah, and Iowa State was what?
Iowa State's a 5.
Iowa State's a 5. UCF is pretty good too, and they're into that group. And
they are.
Their commissioner. I'm going to butcher his name, so I'm not even going to try. The commissioner of the Big 12, Drew. He had said we're the second best league behind the NBA. We are the second best league in basketball behind the NBA.
Tough to argue that.
And it was. So, like, you watched them games this year. They were very, very difficult to argue.
So UCF's in the league. You've got a handful of Texas schools.
Cincinnati
West
is in that Big 12.
Virginia, Cincinnati, BYU. There's another one, Drew. BYU.
Under the radar.
Utah's a Big 12 team now.
Right.
All those teams, but obviously not good.
Big
but
12,
Arizona,
best league
Houston,
in the country.
Iowa. I would say they're up there with SEC. But I mean, it's
BYU.
It's splitting hairs now. But
that kid might be the first pick in the draft, right? From BYU.
Yes. Well, he was going to be. I don't know if he still is, but he was one of the high riser, high ranker.
I know he had 40 points in one of those conference tournament games last week.
Yeah.
All right. So Dolph is a guy who's in my age bracket. Like one of my first sports memories was the Bird Magic Final Four.
Yeah.
Like I was
at the pit.
The hype of that, right? And that's kind of, and then they went and saved the NBA, but they launched March Madness into what it is today.
That was in Utah, I want to say. The pit was the Jimmy V game.
Yeah, that was the Jimmy V game.
And I remember I was in junior high then. I just remember nobody gave Indiana State any shot of winning that game against Magic and Greg Kelser and Jay Vincent and those guys. And they hung around for a while and made it a good game. But yeah.
The Final Four that year was Michigan State, Indiana State, DePaul.
Yeah, they beat Indiana. They lost.
Ivy League. Penn was in the Final Four that year.
Penn had a who they had a guy that I think had a cup of coffee in the league, but that DePaul team had multiple NBA players.
Yeah, Aguirre, Cummings, all those guys. Yeah,
Ray Meyer's great,
really good. But that was the one time they broke through to get there.
But
lost all the other years.
To me, the stretch of tournament, beginning with Jordan's shot, or maybe even the Isaiah year. The year before that, Isaiah won
it in 81.
81. Then Jordan hit the shot in 82. Then you had Valvano, 83.
Yes.
And then 84, 85, you had, Georgetown.
Villanova.
Georgetown, Houston, and Georgetown, Villanova.
And one of those years, the Big East had 3 of the 4 Final Four teams.
St. John's, Villanova, and Germantown. That was 85.
There you go.
So that to me was like the sweet spot of launching it into the industry that it's become. Like that. The spark was Bird and Magic going at it because that kind of put it. Marquette winning a couple years before that, but Bird and Magic made it into the phenomenon that it is.
And if you remember, Drew, in those days they had on-campus games.
Yeah.
And the tournament was 48 schools.
I was going to say, how big was it at that point?
I think it was 40. I think in the mid 80s, right? Probably because of how successful it became. It became 64 and like 85 or 86.
Okay. So that's when they started to launch it. But yeah, that to me was the sweet spot. And that's, when you're younger.
It was. I remember there was almost a 116 upset. Was it Princeton and Georgetown?
I think so, yeah.
That was like around that era, too.
Yeah, it was really close.
And then when the Duke emergence and like the Leitner shot like 10 years later, that
run,
that was already big, but that even kicked it up even more.
Believe it or not, kids, Duke kind of sucked. They had a Final Four in the late 70s. Maybe a national championship game in the late 70s with Mike
Kaminsky. That was, they got shot down by Jack Givens, Goose Givens.
Givens. So other than that, Duke kind of sucked. And then Coach K got there, and then the rest is history, starting
then they started to win. And then, the UNLV, that era. So then, but it was already big then. And now it's to the point where how much bigger can it be? It's like the Super Bowl. How much bigger
they're going to keep trying.
They had Bad Bunny this year, and they got big ratings for the halftime show. Like, how much bigger can it be? The tournament's as big as it can be,
unless you get more games.
More teams, more games, more watered down.
So sadly, you're going to see a lot less upsets, obviously, because the nil money is not going to those mid-major guys. Those mid-major guys are going to Power 5 schools or whatever it is in basketball.
Well, that's what we think is happening. But, you never know with college basketball and sports. It surprises you every time. So we'll see what life has in store for us today.
You guys probably mentioned it already, but can we give some love to Miami last night? Because I was awesome. Last week they shouldn't be in.
Yeah.
But then Armen mentioned it last week, how they reached out to schools like Marquette and Wisconsin, and nobody would play them. If that's true, then I am sorry for saying what they were on the list.
Are you sure?
Yeah. They were on the list.
Just take the W.
They should have scheduled us.
Hey, take the W.
They should have scheduled us. They would
have gotten another dub.
Yeah, no, they would have gotten another dub.
Now you're talking.
I should, Billy. Just take it and leave it.
Just be thankful for it. Just be thankful for it.
So no nap for you today, Dolph? Just
no nap.
Straight up watching games.
Yeah, straight up watching games. Although today's an early day, I'll probably knock off late afternoon. Now tomorrow will be all day because I don't have to get up on Saturday.
All right, giddy up.
Well, and Dolph is the coffee guy in the building. I don't know that he gets the requisite love and appreciation that he does.
He should.
Because if there's any lead in that coffee, Dolph is making a real pot of coffee to make your day ready to roll through.
It's a fine line between taste and caffeine, and I try to.
He's got that special mix.
Dolph, listen, it's a working man's drink, and you you mix that bad boy perfectly. I just want you to know we appreciate the hell out of it.
I appreciate you guys' appreciation. That.
We appreciate the hell out of it.
Thanks,
Dolph,
fellas.
thanks for dropping in for halftime.
Good.
Appreciate it. Hunter Baumgardt joins us after 7 with the latest on the Brewers. A week from today, opening day at American Family Field, Brewers White Sox. Giddy up. It's coming at us fast. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Only Bo Ryan can draw it up. What a job Bo Ryan has done with this group in 14 years. Consistently be one of the top programs in the Big Ten. Back-to-back Final Fours. And now a shot at a national championship.
Nails in the Kentucky coffin. And here they are. Daggers by Kaminsky. Time winding down. Eunice for three. And that's it. For the first time since 1941, 74 years, the Wisconsin Badgers will play for the national championship.
How about that? Oh, cockles are warmed. Everything's jump started now. Armen's just getting in his feel. So here, Mixmaster Armen.
Wow.
You know, I've been pulling the TV calls because it's been harder to find Matt's radio calls than I thought this morning. But was that a Wayne?
Did you just pull up a Wayne Larrivee calling the Final Four?
Because I was producing the game here years ago, obviously, and obviously locked into the radio broadcast. I totally didn't realize that. It sure sounded like him.
We might have to talk to Wayne and
we might
figure
have to
out if that
confirm
was the
this.
situation.
Yeah, but he called the dagger, didn't he? I mean,
he fired in the dagger, no doubt about it. You're not missing that one for sure.
I'm thinking to myself, why don't I remember that? Well, of course, I'm listening
Was
to the
that
radio
the
broadcast.
2016 Final Four?
Yeah, because that would have been when they
beat Kentucky.
Yeah,
2016 Final Four radio broadcast. Westwood won.
Yeah, but that's
Kevin Kugler and John Thompson and Jim Jackson with Doug Gottlieb as studio host.
But this is the TV call on True.
Oh, okay, all right.
Hold on,
it was on True.
There's no way the Final Four game was on True TV.
Listen,
guy.
I'm taking a picture of it. All right. I mean, unless there's something weird about this.
Is this the international feed you got?
It might have been because it was Nance Raptor and Grant Hill.
That would have been Jim Nance calling the game on television.
So what feed did I have? What feed?
Oh, that's what we're asking you.
Well, I don't know.
Like I don't know what illegal stream.
Wait a minute. The games aired on TBS main broadcast with TNT and True TV offering team stream coverage.
Oh, the team stream.
So he was on True TV doing a Wisconsin centric broadcast.
They were doing the local TV feeds. I remember that now because Phil Dawson was doing the sidelines for that one. That's right. They had three I do remember that. That was a quirk in the thing that back then. They had three broadcasts and they were doing a team specific one for each side. So there were like multiple broadcasts going on.
Wow.
So Wayne must have been on the team specific broadcast on True. That would explain it then.
That would explain it. Now that's fascinating because now ESPN will have 84 different streams of the national title game or the college football playoffs. One of them is, Drew, we're just going to show you the game and we're going to dub the radio broadcast over. I like they said, hey, we can't just be doing that. We can't be giving their radio broadcast any extra shine on television. We're going to pay additional people to come in here, call the game. Just be a little bit more slanted for your side.
I love that.
That's awesome.
And be honest with you, they were kind of on the forefront of, like, I don't know if it took off for that, right? Obviously, specifically, but that's kind of what fans want these days, right? Is they want their local.
They like hearing their guy, no doubt about it.
Call now. I think they find different ways just to get the radio call in, but boy, I totally forgot that. But I remember now because I remember our man Phil Dawson was doing it, was doing sidelines for that. So
now it says a lot of 2016 Final Four. It says crews included Oklahoma, Villanova. This is the wrong year. UNC and Syracuse. That wasn't 2016.
The 2015 Final Four would have been that year because the Badgers made it in 14 and 15.
2015
so that would have been 15.
Team Stream broadcast crews.
This is so
Wayne
good.
Larrivee and Mike Kelly, Wisconsin.
There it is.
Wow.
Mike Kelly, that's right.
Mike Kelly.
Mike used to do broadcasting.
I would have thought it would have been Andy North.
Team Stream for and for Michigan State was Brian Anderson and Mateen Cleaves.
Holy cow.
And for Duke, it was Tom Wormy and Ala Abdelnaby, another Wisconsin reference.
Ala Abdelnaby for Buck. He's the guy they had for the Duke feed.
Yeah.
Of all the Duke guys in broadcasting in the NBA.
You did find a Wayne Larrivee call with a dagger.
Yes.
From the Badgers beating Kentucky.
Oh, it feels good to
What
find.
a great find that.
That feels like
by
it's
accident.
By complete accident.
I mean, don't give me that much credit.
No, we're going to give you a lot of credit. And once again, you got to get better at just taking the victory. This needs to be a big time feature on the Larrivee and LePay podcast.
Totally.
No doubt.
They both had the same call.
It's True TV.
Someone's going to overlay
by the
both
way,
calls.
Mike Kelly, I don't bug him, but he's so awesome. Mike Kelly is like one of the nicest dudes and a great analyst. When he was doing that,
he was on a superstar track of doing
phenomenal.
Chose to
and
I think
chose
step away.
to stay home with his kids and like help coach and raise his kids, but he didn't like the commitment of the time commitment and being away from home,
which it's tough as we know.
But he was he's tremendous. I love Mike Kelly. He's one of my favorites. Point guard of the Stars. He was the D-list point guard for a while. That we would have him on me and Needles.
The D-list point guard. I love that.
It was amazing. But yeah, Wayne and Mike did call that game in 2015. Good call. Good,
what a pull, Armen.
Good pull by Armen. Holy cow.
Damn.
Am I the hero of the day for Donovan?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, Current Electric.
Current Electric.
I'm sorry.
Current Electric. Thank you very much. Our superhero of the day. Well, it should be our friend Wayne Larrabee, but it's Armen for bringing us Wayne Larrabee's call of the Badgers beating Kentucky. Now, what was that? 34-1?
Yeah. 38-1.
38-1.
440. Yeah.
38-1. Thanks to the Dagger, Wayne Larrabee, for bringing it to us. Thank you for True TV. And you will have True TV on your broadcast today. Current Electric can't tell you where True TV is. You're going to have to go to the TV guide, but they can change and fix all of your electrical issues, whether it's lighting inside or outside, springtime, summertime, best nights outside. Let the superheroes at Current Electric assist you with your little outdoor oasis. Callcurrent.com is the place to go to online, or see Current Electric, Drew, at this year's Realtors Home and Garden Show, March 20th through the 28th. Somebody tells me that's this weekend.
Excellent. Great call. Getting close. Hunter Baumgardt joins us talking Brewers. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, be alert for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the good boy y'all do. Let's go out and kick some tail. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh my God, this man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Rolling through a Thursday in the good land. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you from headquarters on this glorious first day of the NCAA tournament. While we're all about to dive deep into basketball, we got high school tournament this weekend too.
Oh yeah, come on now.
Still got some NBA stuff. Baseball is just around the corner. Brewers open a week from today at American Family Field. They break camp this weekend. And joining us now through the miracle of technology is our pal Hunter Baumgardt, the voice of our show open, and our Brewers correspondent. Hunter, good morning. Thanks for getting up early. It is 1 week until the season opener. Do you know who's in your rotation and who's healthy? Because I'm starting to lose track of Brewers pitchers that are going to be available a week from today.
Yeah, it is kind of all over the place, but I'm glad we're 1 week out. It's closer than ever, which is awesome. I think it's, look, you have obviously Mizorowski and Patrick, and then the rest is, okay, who's going to be there? Woodruff, I think, is in your opening day rotation. Is he your opening day starter? That could be debated. Kyle Harrison left yesterday with a blister, but it sounds like that's not going to cause him to miss any time, which is really good news because I think he's in there. And then Brandon Sproat might be in your opening day rotation, acquired from the Mets in the Freddie Peralta deal. He's shown some really good signs in spring training. Sounds like the coaching staff, especially Chris Hook, really likes him. I think he could be a leading candidate for that fifth spot.
Okay, so, well, you said the guy that needs to like him, Chris Hook. Let's be honest, that's the one that makes the most sense. And I'm not a big Hunter pitching ninja guy, and I don't understand the vertical drop break and all this kind of stuff. But when they start doing the side-by-sides and the comparison and the overlays, as they like to say, of his delivery with all of his pitches coming out of it, he's got the makeup, and it seems like the consistent arm slot and drop where it's like, my man's varying quite a bit where he could be a real – we talked about it the day after the trade where there's a reason why they fought for him to be a part of the deal. And while Jet Williams is the one that will be the number one and everyone was excited about, very, very real possibility Sproat's the best player in that deal.
Could be. And, you know, from what I've heard out of camp is that he's becoming a pitcher and it's not just throwing, right? And that's a difference. I mean, when you become a pitcher, it's some of that more cerebral side, but also, you know, mixing in, okay, with the sequencing gets more complicated maybe. I think, you know, what stood out to me is Kurt Hogue of the Journal Sentinel saying that he's not heard Chris Hook light up about a young pitcher like he heard him light up about Brandon Sproat at just getting a couple weeks under his belt with the guy. And so it sounds like he's impressing at spring training. And you can look at the numbers, and I don't know how much the numbers necessarily, you know, you can look at them a little bit in spring training, but also they're trying things out. They're trying pitches. They're trying different sequencing. They're not necessarily sequencing exactly how they are going to in the regular season. In fact, they're not. So you can take the numbers for what they are. But it sounds like overall, it just kind of in spring training, you almost, and Drew, you talk about this better than I, it's almost like vibes, look, there's more of that rather than raw numbers of what you're looking at in spring training.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Hunter Baumgardt joining us, talking Brewers. Again, it's hard to believe, a week from today.
1 week away,
they'll
guys.
be playing at American Family Field, a couple of games, right, on Monday and Tuesday?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, 6:40 Monday, 4:10 Tuesday. So technically those are still spring training games. So the roster will not be due. So fascinated to see how they handle those games as far as who plays and who doesn't.
Okay, so that answers the question that my 3-year-old asked: is Yelly going to be there? I said he's going to be there, buddy. I don't know that he's going to play, but we can see him in the dugout, right? He might get in that bat. We'll see him in there. Yeah. And now Drew asked the question of, do you know where your starting pitchers are? Hunter, I appreciated on your Twitter account, Hunter Be On Air yesterday. You had the video because the question I'm asking is, do we know where our games are? Do we know where you can find games right now with Brewers TV? And I thought it was extremely open and honest by Rick Schlesinger yesterday of like, guys, all due respect, we got no answers for you. Like we're not making the decisions. Yeah. We're here now at the beholdens of MLB. They got the 10 on-air game or over-the-air games. Fox 6 in Milwaukee and across the state, they're going to be terrestrial broadcast. Opening day, one of those.
And then the rest Tuesdays.
But otherwise, like when that March 28th game tips first pitch, where everybody's getting the sweet replica of American Family Field, we don't know where that game is. And I thought it was pretty honest of Rick Schlesinger to say, hey, we might let you guys know like on opening day where the rest of the games are going to be.
Yeah, and I know that is cause angst, and I get it, right? You want to know what channel the Brewers are going to be on because you love watching the Brewers, right? But I think at the end of the day, this actually overall might make it even easier for fans to access the Brewers overall. Once this is all worked out, and honestly,
and you figure it out. Yeah.
Once it's worked out, then it's just worked out, and I would think the channels stay the same for years to come and everything like that. With Brewers TV. So let's hear Rick Schlesinger, President of Business Operations for the Milwaukee Brewers, when asked, when are we going to know specific channels for cable or satellite?
Yeah, so we have a new television platform. Obviously, we were with FanDuel Sports last year, and we are now with MLB Media, which means that MLB, which controls the local television rights for about 15 MLB clubs, will be negotiating those distribution deals and finalizing all the production. Those deals are being negotiated as we speak. I suspect, as in the case of the last few years, they'll get done just maybe a couple days before opening day. So I can assure fans that if they're used to watching games on cable, satellite, and streaming, they're invariably going to have very similar options for 2026. We obviously want to tell fans what channels to watch on your cable system. As soon as we get the information, we'll get it. It may not be till the day before opening day, but fans will find us. And again, the streaming option is something that's becoming more popular with fans. It's $99.99 for a 6-month subscription. They get all local games, about 145 games that can be streamed to the app. And if you're a traditional cable or linear television viewer, you're going to be able to get those. We're waiting for MLB to tell us, what deals are finalized and what channels. But again, ask for people's patience. The games will be on the air. We're very excited about the quality of the distribution and production. We also have 10 over-the-air games, including home opener, and then 9 Tuesday games during the year. So there's a lot of different ways for fans to access the product. And if you can't come to the ballpark, listen on 620 or watch us on cable, satellite, or through the streaming program.
I think the biggest thing to think about there is it's out of the Brewers' control right now as far as what channels the Brewers are going to be on for cable and satellite. It is Major League Baseball negotiates these deals with carriers. And as he said, Major League Baseball controls the local TV rights now. Since they went to MLB Media, it's more under their control. Now there's different things the Brewers do in-house, selling, etc. But otherwise, it's MLB controlled. So they're just waiting. And it sounds like we haven't really kept track of this because we haven't had to, but it sounds like in years past, they wait with teams till like the last minute because, as Andrew Brandt says, deadline spur action. So they're waiting to that deadline to get those deals in, seeing who's going to budge first, so to speak, on the cable and satellite. But the great thing is come opening day, number one, it'll be over the air in many parts of the state. But also we'll know those channels. So we will know. It just might be 24 to 48 hours before that first pitch is thrown.
Well, and I know people don't like when he throws in there like, hey, you can always just buy the package. You can always just buy the package. You can buy a $99.99. You can also do the $199, which is the entire league, all the games.
Which is not a bad deal at all when you start looking at it.
Really not. Comparatively, I think it's $150 without Brewers games. Yeah. So you're getting half off on the rest of the for all of the Brewers games. And man, you get the condensed game. Like, it is a really, really good package. And I'm a big fan of the service, like for how good out of all the different streaming services, Drew,
the best.
I contend it's right up there with Netflix as like the best streaming service in their interface.
Yeah.
The absolute best. What else came of yesterday's availability, Hunter, with Rick Schlesinger?
Yeah, I think one of the big questions is, okay, since you're not getting, the check from FanDuel for the TV rights because it went to Major League Baseball, how is that impacting payroll and the way the team is able to spend, not having that, local TV revenue coming in? This is what Rick Schlesinger said about that.
Yeah, so our payroll's up this year. We're spending money. We're investing in the product. The economics of TV, there's less money coming in than there would have been with FanDuel. But this was a contingency, frankly, that we projected and we budgeted for. Whenever you're working with an entity and there are some concerns about its finances, in budgeting, you always put a contingency in place because we knew that if FanDuel was not ready to operate our broadcast for 26, that we had a backstop and a great backstop at MLB, but the economics are less. The economics are different. I'm not really worried about it because, television is a source of revenue, but we have other sources of revenue and we're expecting great attendance. We're expecting, fantastic sponsorship support, which we're already getting. So the early numbers are very strong for the bottom line. And, with the team on the field, we're investing in it. So whether it's the draft picks, whether it's the payroll, whether it's front office staff, whether it's projects, we're investing and the television shortfall is not impacting us on that front at all.
Yeah, one thing to remember with the Brewers payroll as well, it's not just the payroll number, it's what they're investing in and how they're building their team, right? The facilities in the Dominican or the facilities in other places or the scouting and different things. Like we all look at the payroll as far as, okay, this is how much the Brewers are spending to try to get a good team on the field, but it's also the other things they're doing around it. And that's honestly what's bearing a lot of fruit with the Jackson Churios, with the Jesus Madej, with the, all those different young players that are developing and now playing really well at the major league level.
One of the other guys that people are really excited about is Pena. Like when I was listening to the 30 clubs in 30 days, they threw him in there, and Yonder Alonso's like, that kid's got the it factor, guys. Like there's certain players that got something. He's got the it factor. What wasn't it a year ago, Hunter, was the debut of the parking situation for American Family Field, where we were going to have to we're going to scan in, like that was not it right away. Got better throughout the year. They also weren't dealing with half the freeway getting ripped open. So how difficult was that conversation and what kind of guidance did Rick give us yesterday?
Yeah, I think, that might have been, was that last year or the year before? One of the last two where, they had to work.
Ultimately, everyone got in free because the service wasn't good. Sorry, guys. Whoops.
The Armen special.
Yes, they adopted the Armen way. And eventually,
the best. Yeah.
Yes, eventually they were able to get that straightened out. So this year it's different. Obviously, that system is really good now. They got that down to a science, and they roll pretty easily, and that's going to help with the traffic around the ballpark when it comes to construction around the ballpark. This is what Rick Schlesinger had to say when asked about, okay, there's a lot of construction outside of the ballpark and around it. How is that going to affect things?
Yeah, so we're doing a lot of things to help educate the fans about the DOT and about the process and freeway construction. So DOT has a special website for Brewers games. If you go to brewers.com/traffic, you're going to find all of the same information. Throughout the ballpark, we're going to have QR codes where people can literally take a photo from their phone and download all of the information about parking. Again, there's going to be a learning curve for everybody. And different routes will be open. We're working with DOT to make sure lane closures are minimized during games. At the same time, we understand that construction has to meet a certain deadline. We're also working with the city in terms of Blue Mound, Wisconsin Avenue, to make sure we have traffic assistance. We've got 3 additional sheriff's deputy crews that we have hired who are going to help with traffic. We also have a dedicated tow truck in case anybody breaks down on the access roads of the freeway or on the freeway. Right. We're going to be able to have immediate access to get that car off the freeway so we avoid blocking lanes. So a lot of things we're doing in partnership with the DOT and with the city. The QR code and the website are really the best place to get the updated information.
Who gets to drive the Brewers tow truck?
I was just going to ask, Armen.
And is that thing logoed out and everything?
It better
like
be
swagged
the
out.
official Brewers tow truck with the logos and everything, like that's the dedicated, because you got to know which one's the dedicated one, right? In case some of us need it. So man, that's pretty cool. I want to know who gets to drive.
I think
it
might be the tow truck that's coming and picking you up, but yeah,
Well,
I don't know that random tow trucks are just driving down the road being like, "Hey, I think I can scoop you."
Well, no, but you might call a tow truck if you break down, and who knows what
There you
kind of
go.
service you're getting with AAA. But if you get the Brewers one, hey,
Maybe you get a hat too.
Maybe it makes a rough day a little bit nicer when you get the Brewers tow truck come by.
Classic. Don't bog Hunter down with this stuff. He only cares about ball. Hunter.
There's
The bullpen. Rob Zastryzny hurt and for pitching for Team Canada. Injured list. There's an arm that we thought was going to provide some depth out of the bullpen. Now, granted, this is going to be one of those years where the Brewers will probably make a bunch of moves after the first game. They got the day off Friday.
Big time.
Probably send a bunch of guys down, probably headed down that street. But what does it look like? Who's healthy? Because Zastryzny's hurt, and it's like, oh, put Yoho in there. Oh, by the way, he's hurt. So it's like, where are we at with bullpen depth, Hunter?
Well, Yoho, unfortunately, also, they're both going to return, sounds like sometime in April. Maybe this opens a spot for Shane Drowan. Maybe. I would think, he came back to the Brewers in the Caleb Durbin deal, and people are excited about what he's done in spring. But I think they want him to develop maybe a little more before they throw him in, but maybe out of necessity they would. I mean, it's not like he's been around. He's played a lot of years in the minor leagues, so it's not like he hasn't developed. But I wonder. It sounded like they were maybe going to start him at the minor league level. But look, injuries happen, and we'll see if he then makes it. And the other question becomes Robert Gasser, Logan Henderson. Where do these guys start? Do you keep them stretched out and have them start at Nashville? At AAA, or do you turn them into some sort of a long man? Now, Rob Z is not necessarily a long man. He was more of your specialist and come in for an inning. So that's not the role that you're missing there. Maybe you are missing a guy like a Shane Drowan who can come in at times. But you have a lot of lefties in that pen already, so it's not necessarily a lefty issue that you're facing without Rob Z. So I think it's going to be interesting, number one, to see if they go, okay, do we want Logan Henderson or Robert Gasser to start to be a bullpen arm, or do we keep them stretched out? I would think they keep them stretched out and have them ready in case there is another injury to that starting rotation.
Is there any chance here, fellas, that they make one move and get like a veteran in for that rotation? Because I know there's a way of doing business, and it was a couple of weeks prior. What was it, like March 5th or 6th when they signed Quintana last year? But maybe there's a look around saying, I love that we're betting on youth. Maybe we're putting way too many eggs into the youth basket. Like, is there a possibility that there could be an ad anywhere there, Hunter, you think?
If Brandon Woodruff, for some reason, is not in the opening day rotation, then I would entertain that more. If he's ready to go, even if it's not March 26th, if it's March 31st, or if it's April 2nd, if it's within the first week of the year, then probably I think they want to go with their youth, and they want to see what they have. They have a lot of it. And like you said, it's a lot of inexperience at the major league level for sure, but they have a lot of potential there. And I feel like they're just ready to see what it's got. I also think if you sign someone right now, you also are worried. Yes, they're probably working out, but are they built up to start, next week? Right.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Maybe they sign a bullpen arm because Rob Z's going to be, maybe that's more just a quick deal like that. But I just think they really want to see these younger guys. And the Brandon Woodruff thing is interesting because they can continue to say later in the year is more important than early in the year. And so I wonder at what point does that mean that he's ready to start in the opening day rotation? Does that mean, is he going to maybe take a week or two and then start in the opening day rotation, or not in the opening day rotation, but then in the rotation going forward? It sounds like he's kind of wanting to go every sixth day during the season, which can work with the off days in the first month of the year. But then you get into the year and I wonder if they're going to go, okay, let's throw Aaron Ashby out there this time, and then Woodruff will start, a day later. I wonder if they're going to be real careful as they go through the season. Not necessarily that he's going to take 2 weeks off or go on the IL, but more so, can we throw Aaron Ashby out there? Can we even throw a DL Hall out there and skip a day, get through a day with maybe a bullpen day to give Woodruff one more day?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. It's got to be the right guy at the right price, I think, if it did happen. But the one thing we do know is pitching depth is always important. Dobler wants to know really quick here, Hunter, do you believe in Lockbridge now? He's hot. Is that something you guys have been going back
Breckenridge,
and forth with?
man. How about him?
I think that is the most fascinating thing as we go through the last week of camp here. What happens with the center field position? Because it sounds like from the reporting yesterday that the Brewers want to play Garrett Mitchell back-to-back days for the next 3, 4, 5 days here. I don't know exactly how long. Probably through the weekend, I would guess. See how his body responds after playing back-to-back days, because I don't believe he's done that successfully or not. Well, he just hasn't done that for like 3 or 4 days in spring training yet, where he's played back-to-back days. So I think they're going to do that. How does his body respond? Plus, Lockridge is hitting .314 with 4 homers and 7 runs driven in, and has been tearing the cover off the baseball. He had a grand slam against the Dodgers the other day in the 24-9 win over the Dodgers. And then Garrett Mitchell was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts yesterday, and is hitting 0.80. So he's hitting, not well in spring training. Again, you look at how these guys are more so looking rather than numbers, but when they're that extreme, you do maybe take a second look at the number. I think Lockridge has a chance here to make the roster if they say, okay, Garrett Mitchell, number 1, has not been hitting the baseball well, and number 2, if his body doesn't respond in the way they want to over the next 3 or 4 days, they say, all right, let's just get him back on his feet a little bit in Nashville for, first 10 to 15 days in the season, and then play the long game with him and have him for 140 instead of maybe 162 and more of a chance of injury. So these next 3 or 4 days are fascinating, because I think that's the biggest question going into the opening day roster. Will it be Mitchell? Will it be Lockridge? I thought it was Mitchell all along, even however Lockridge was going to play. However, with it sounds like they want to see how Mitchell's body responds, then there's still a little bit of concern there.
Those decision makers are less swayed by spring stats than we are. They look at the big
that's
picture.
true. It's always been that way.
Hottest hitter in camp is like what? Jake Bowers, right?
Right.
He's been crushing balls. Doesn't mean he's going to hit in April.
Yeah.
Well, Eric Almonte.
And there's all those guys.
Brad Nelson is the worst
guys
one.
Guys that go from playing every day and getting 3 at-bats a day to getting 3 at-bats,
a week
in 2 weeks.
Yeah, different deal.
Different deal. It happens every year, but we forget. Brewers and the Reds on Monday and Tuesday at American Family Field. The games this weekend before they leave camp. Night game tonight because of the heat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
hot as heck down there.
Someone was asking, like, what's going to happen on Saturday? They still going to play? They're going to cancel the game? They won't cancel the game. They might move it tonight, but they ain't canceling the game.
No. Well, those are the spring breakout ones, right? So MLB's got a lot of SDHs. They're definitely
those are happening Friday and Sunday, but Saturday Brewers Padres. It's a 1:00 start local. They might move that to a night game if it's going to be 106 there.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculously hot right now in Arizona. Unprecedented. Crazy. Crazy.
It's almost like a who's hot, who's not.
Hunter, thank you for joining us. You going back out to the ballpark today, Hunter? They got more stuff going on?
I will not be today. So next time I think I'll be there will be Monday when the exhibition games start. And again, just a reminder, we'll have the cable and satellite channels by opening day. Maybe the day of opening day, maybe the day before.
Keep sending Hunter messages and asking him.
Yes.
Hunter, what channel
has
the
the
Brewers
answer?
on?
He's just not telling us.
And who cares? You're not going to go to that channel today.
Well, that's the thing too.
No, I think they're
it's going to be figured
worried.
out.
They're generally
More
worried
than
the Brewers
anything,
don't have a plan.
No, I would want to know that I can make sure that I can write it down on the piece of paper for when my grandmother was alive, God rest her soul. The only thing that changing from 31 to 309.
Yeah.
And then they had to flip that channel again. Hey, man, we got to make sure that thing is written down on every single remote control. We got to write that thing down some places.
Yeah, it's like every dad
laminated things on there.
It's like every dad calling the bank to make sure they paid the tax escrow. That's their job. That's what they do. You don't have to call them and tell them, well, I better make sure you only got 2 more weeks. Did you fill your oil? Don't you know 2 more weeks? 1 more
Hunter,
week.
thank you for getting up early with us. We appreciate it. Thanks for being the voice of our program. As well, It's getting to be Hunter's happy time. He'll be able to watch some ball beginning on Monday at American Family Field.
Exactly. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
all right,
man.
Hunter Baumgardt.
I didn't know if Hunter's happy time was Happy Place Hemp. I was like, oh God, all right. Hunter adding a new club to his bag. Let's ride. That would have been fun. Absolutely. That would have worked out well.
Hey, after the show today, I'm going to see my pals at Game Day Men's Health in Brookfield. GameDayMen'sHealth.com, the website. If you're not feeling like yourself, if you don't let another summer slip by. We got summer to look forward to. Maximize it. Seize the day. Learn about the things that they can help you with. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Sign up for a free, no obligation consult and go from there. I'll be seeing Patty and Abby today at the Brookfield office. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back in the game. We're getting close to games. That means something. The NCAA tournament first day is upon us. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Okay.
The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bring it to you. First day of the big dance NCAA Tournament.
How deep did you have to dig for this one?
You know what? There's a lot of songs that refer to dancing. Talk about dancing. Trying to do them all today, but had to get a little Beach Boys in there.
Wow.
Had to get my boys in one time.
Done.
Now we're talking. All right. I didn't anticipate that to be a touch here on the NCAA
Yeah.
Tournament Day 1, Drew. That's what I'm talking about.
877-794-1973. Armen was almost our hero of the day by Current Electric. What about our who's hot and who's not? Do we have to go with LeBron?
Dude.
Was he 13 for 14 at age 41?
And some high riser dunks last night. He was spectacular last night.
Who's hot, who's not? Brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen. Billy, who do you got?
Well, listen, I'm glad you mentioned LeBron. And one that I'll say is the Miami Redhawks. Let's give them a little bit of credit. Let's give their swim team, though, even more love and credit last night. Those boys, some people were saying they were hot. Now, some ladies that were watching the game were glad that Speedo guys ran down the ramp while the SMU Mustangs were shooting free throws. Game gets tenuous there for a second, Drew. 50-49. The Stangs shooting some free throws. They're running down the Redhawks. And run down the ramp come the Miami University of Oxford, Ohio swim team in the swim caps and Speedos. And the broadcaster was phenomenal on it. I don't know the young man's name. He was really good last night. But he gives the Jim, they took your swimsuit, Jim. They got your suits, Jim. Running on down the ramp. Wow. SMU clanks 2, and then quickly, I think there was like a 7 or an 8-0 run by the Redhawks. They win. They're hot. They're moving on. Who's not potentially hot with our friends at Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling, serving your community for over 40 years, largest employee-owned HVAC company in the state of Wisconsin. Well, Drew, I'd hate to say it this way. Shams Charania is just not hot. My man does not get the scoop, tries to take it as his own scoop on the Eric Name story yesterday with Giannis Antetokounmpo, not wanting to be shut down. Bucks want to shut him down. Giannis wants to play. This is what makes Giannis, right? That kind of disgusting competitive drive to never believe that you're out of something, to never believe that you should just pack it in and work for the next one, wait for the next year. It's what makes you him. It's what made him one of the best in the league and one of the best of his generation. However, I don't think it's a tanking conversation, Drew. I think it's more of the Bucks are saying, hey, brother, we're cheeks either way. This has been a horrible season for you health-wise and luck-wise. Why don't we all just say, let's be better in 26-27 and hope for health? And the easiest way of doing that is you grabbing all of those Gatorades from the cooler, going home, and hitting the game ready every single day and making sure those legs are ready by next year.
Eric Name beat Shams by several minutes on that one.
Like 20 minutes or so, Drew. And like I'm not
give him a little credit though. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm
right?
saying. Like I'm not guy to say like, hey, you can't then go, but at least acknowledge, at least give a tip of the cap. That's the one thing that I do really respect the NFL guys on, especially because we're just coming out of free agency season. Schefter was dog walking everybody in the insider game. But when they're not first on it, generally they give the credit.
Heyman and Rosenthal and those guys, the baseball guys,
they're always good on it. Yes.
Always. Whoever had it first, they tip the cap to whoever had it first. And they don't, not so much the agent who gave them the morsel, is more about the guy who broke the story.
Yeah.
Whoever had the quickest thumbs.
Because at one point that was how you got the story, right? Was that you had to go and get the information.
Exactly.
They didn't just have somebody hotline you the information.
Because everyone's paper came out at the same time. Right.
Not the group text.
Yeah.
877-794-1973. Speaking of text, that's the NCAAlaw.com talk and text line here as we get ready. Badgers playing just before 1 o'clock. The ball will go up in Portland. The first game of the day at that venue. And Badgers, early morning for them, but I don't think that's a big deal. People are like, oh, that's like 11 a.m. there. It's like, so what?
So I had some people kind of clap back on the idea where I wanted them to be first out of the chute because I wanted them to be able to, I didn't want to have to wait, right? Media starts with me. Last thing I wanted last night while I'm watching the Miami of Ohio game, I thought about it. There's going to be 4 games that haven't even tipped off by this time tomorrow night.
It's pretty crazy when you think about
4
that.
games that hadn't even tipped off by the time that game was at halftime. That's gross. But wherever they play and whenever they line up, as long as Boyd and Blackwell are somewhat hot, even if it's not from outside. I know you were getting into it with Dobler on the conversation on the YouTube chat, Armen. The one piece that Blackwell and Boyd have been very, very good at is seemingly understanding when it's not dropping from outside, still being able to penetrate the lane
and win in different ways.
And with their size advantage, Drew, I think that's going to be the biggest key here tonight, right? Or today, I should say. Like, as much as brunch with the Badgers will always come down to Armen's favorite 3-point variance here in March, their ability to get inside and force the issue is probably what gets overlooked.
Yeah, and then there's certain teams you can survive doing that, but there are certain games you might need that to show up. And I would say there's always exceptions to the rule, but consistently you don't want to be not shooting well from three. Now, the Badgers' offense has evolved a bit. That was Dowler's point. I would agree with that, but I think they still make their bones winning big games, especially this time of the year. It's going to be winning big games on shooting the lights out. So hopefully they can continue to do that. I think you do what you do well and you do it often. And for the Badgers, that's creating and making, shooting and making a lot of threes this year. So can they still win in different ways? Absolutely. Every game is its own living, breathing thing. Anything and everything can happen in March, and every opponent is different. You just got to survive in advance, as the old line says, however you can. But I would expect that the Badgers shoot under 30% from three. They won't win multiple rounds. They might survive High Point. Who knows what could happen in another round, but to keep it going like that would be tough. So eventually they're going to have to shoot the ball well. That's just the way it is.
Absolutely. Did you happen to see who dropped by the Green Bay women's practice yesterday?
That was a cool one for old number 10. How about that?
Jordan Love popping by their practice as they're getting ready to play Minnesota.
Yes. What is that? A 4-13 matchup for the UWGB women's team? I think a good squad. Okay. I also love, Jordan might have been in town for some marketing deals, right? It's a marketing conversation with the softball tournament that we got coming up. Him and Micah Parsons going to go offense versus defense.
That's great, isn't
but
it?
Also, who knows? Maybe he was just dropping by to take a look at that draft board.
Oh,
let me see what kind of tight ends you guys are looking at in day 3, because we got to add up into that room.
I like that. That'd be nice. You think he has that type of pull now to be like,
absolutely not.
Yeah,
but I think it would be fun if he did.
But like, he has a seat in the room at least. Just can't talk.
No.
Well, you can sit in there and hear about what they're looking at.
I think you can go in and talk, and they can say, hey, these are the guys that we've talked to, and sweet.
That's kind of what I mean there.
Yeah. But I like the fact that he's in with the boys.
Right.
And have we found out? We haven't had the baby yet. He also might just be looking around saying, Drew, I need to get as many opportunities out of the house as possible.
Probably.
She's 9 months pregnant, and I'm going to make sure that I roll out of here. And she's got her feet up, kicked up, got what she needs. And guys, I need to get some free time.
Maybe
get out of the house.
And she might want it around this time too.
She could also said, "How about you get your ass out of the house
before the baby comes?"
Yeah, fair.
Could very well be.
Let me get this text in real quick because I just can't let it pass. Red Hot Tim Knott on the text line before the break. We were talking about the Brewers' dedicated tow truck. That we're gonna have one dedicated tow truck. He said, "Wait, where is the text now?" He said, "Oh, will the Brewers put number 16 on the tow truck and name it the 6-toe Lescano?" Come on, that's hilarious.
The 6-toe.
The 6-toe Lescano. Oh, man.
That's not bad. Not bad.
That is good.
Not a bad callback, I got to say. Hey, Orthopedic Associates Wisconsin is your go-to if you have a sports injury, if your child has a sports injury, if you have a nagging chronic issue that's been bugging you. I don't know, say a hip that's made you limp around for a year and a half. You're just not maximizing your opportunities. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, orthowisconsin.com, the website. Check them out online. Begin your journey there. Check out the world-class clinics, the great care that you can get right here at home, the best in the business. Orthowisconsin.com. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference.
They might have some folks that go out and try to play some hoops here today after the Badgers High Point.
Oh, yes.
Well, we can run some twos.
Let's get a run in, guys.
Let's get a run in. Why not? It's decent outside. It's in the 40s. Put a sweatshirt on. You'll be fine.
Great traditions. After the last game in Division I, we play at the Fieldhouse. We play a little pickup after we filed our stories. The janitors were around. And we would play like after midnight hoops, shoot some threes, and then go hit the bar.
That's a good spot.
A good tradition. Get a little sweat going. All right. We broke a sweat today. We're on to basketball, but we got to close up shop. We're going to do that next. Wake and Bake Story brought to us by happyplacehemp.com. Coming up, it's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Just hitting the rhythm, and it's time to shut her down here on the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. Time for a little wake and bake story. Our pals at happyplacehemp.com. It doesn't matter if the tournament's going on or if baseball's being played. They're creating the best CBD products we've found anywhere. Rob and Chris work out of Muskego, and they sell statewide. Visit happyplacehemp.com. Use the code HUDDLE. 25% off and free shipping every time you go to the wells. Check out our friends at happyplacehemp.com. Billy, what do we got for waking and baking today?
So, this, I don't know how much of a wake and bake story this is, but I wonder if the individual at USC that decided to reach out to one Matt Leinart, potentially decided to wake and bake. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Matt Leinart a couple of days ago was asked, who's number 11 is retired at USC. Now, people know USC, a tremendous football powerhouse. You're probably thinking retired numbers. They just got to have a litany of retired football numbers.
A lot of great players, right?
There's a couple. Number 3, Carson Palmer. Number 11, Matt Leinart. Soon to be Reggie Bush.
Gotcha.
Soon to be Reggie Bush. And also this certain old running back named O.J. Simpson.
The juice, yeah.
And Caleb Williams. So now there's all Heisman Trophy winners in that run. Now, Marcus Allen was also a Heisman Trophy winner. I don't believe his number is retired, which is kind of a strange one there for fight on.
So what's the threshold?
So either way, Matt Leinart's number 11 was retired. Certain people of my youth, Matt Leinart was the guy.
Yep.
That USC team was the coolest football team ever to walk the face of the earth when I was younger.
He was awesome. They were winning. He was in the hot tub, all that stuff.
He was on the Throwbacks podcast, and he was asked, when I was at USC, I got my number retired. You win the Heisman, automatic number retired, which is pretty cool. So our jerseys are hanging up at the Coliseum on the one side. Then Leinart said USC approached him about unretiring the number when top recruits wanted to wear the number 11 at USC. A former quarterback said there have been multiple times where people at USC, now multiple times. So you've gotten the hint and then went back to him and asked me if I would unretire my jersey for some 5-star prospect. And do you want to know what I told those guys straight up? Absolutely not.
GTFO.
That's awesome.
I'm not going to unretire my jersey for some random dude who, by the way, could wear 11 and then transfer next year.
Great
no
point.
shot.
Yeah.
Matt Leinart, standing ovation.
I agree.
Just like when Lawrence Taylor was like somewhat broached about it earlier this year by Abdul Carter and the New York Football Giants. Go find another one. Go find another number.
Right.
And if you're the team and you're the organization, you're the school, shame on you for going and asking Matt Leinart if you're going to take the number out of the rafters. You also did it like 10 years ago, 5 or 10 years ago. The number ain't even cold up there yet. You got to give it a little bit of run before you start asking if we can pull it down for some 5-star prospect who I've only worn 11 back in my life.
Well, you're going to wear something else now.
That kid also doesn't know who Matt Leinart is.
Yeah.
So I don't besmirch the kid at all for asking. You might as well take the shot. Man, what are you, high guy at USC that not only after the first time he says absolutely not, said, hey, Matt, but here's the deal. Now we got a 5-star quarterback who's a sophomore. We're going to have to pay him $4 million to come here, and he might play here. Could he wear number 11? Forget about it.
Yeah, no. And my thing is, you should have thought about this before you started retiring him. Now, here's my thing. I understand that sometimes they say, well, we're retiring the jersey, not the number. Marquette had a little bit of an issue with this with George Thompson. And one day, Lazar Hayward as a freshman picked 24. Nobody thought much of it because it's a retired jersey, not a number. And he started asking questions like, what's going on? Lazar volunteered to switch his number, obviously to avoid any issues. It came up again with Hanif Cheatham, I believe, in 2016. It's like, no. This is, maybe you say it's a retired jersey and not a number, and I remember George saying the number's up there in the rafter with the jersey, so I don't get it. So both guys obviously chose to wear a different number, but it can become an awkward thing when you say, well, we retire a jersey, not a number, and then you're asking said legend to be okay with that. It can become a very awkward thing. So pretty interesting. I'm glad Matt said that. If you didn't want to give me the honor,
stand on business.
If you didn't want to give me the honor, don't do it, or make it very clear that we're retiring jerseys and don't put a number up in the rafters. So a lot of teams don't retire many jerseys or numbers because of this. Some retire a lot of them, and I'm always wondering to myself, well, when are they going to run out of numbers? Because one day it's going to happen. How many the Celtics have, I'm not really sure, but It's something I think about. So
Bush's Heisman was reinstated, and his number was then re-retired in 2024. I did misspeak. Sorry, Mark DeRosa style here. Marcus Allen does have his number retired.
Okay.
He did have his number retired. I don't believe he had the full ceremony because they just retired it right away when he won the Heisman. Also, Armen, your boy Mike Garrett.
Okay.
Running back back in 63 to 65. His number 20 is retired. And so is Charles White, running back, Heisman Trophy winner from 79. So they got a number of them. They got a bunch of them there at the Coliseum. Sure, you're going to have to double up on them. But Lincoln Riley, you literally came from Oklahoma where they've got Heisman Park. Yeah. And they build a statue for a guy that was there for a year and wins the Heisman Trophy. You got to kind of know, hey, this is going to be the case and this is going to be the deal. You ain't giving somebody number 11. Let's figure out if we can put the kid in number 1, and then maybe it'll work out. I love that. Also, Matt Leinart, decent broadcaster. Pretty good, pretty strong broadcaster on that Fox Big Noon Kickoff. They got some handsome cats on that. I mean, you line up Matt Leinart and Brady Quinn next to each other. That's kind of an unfair room to walk into.
Right. They didn't unretire OJ's number at USC.
Still got 32 up there.
Still 32 up in the rafters.
Still got 32 up there.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, still got 32 up there.
That's
a choice.
That's when you wonder.
That is a
no
choice.
longer with us.
So so they won't retire for that, but they'll ask him to do it for a recruit.
For what?
What's that?
For what?
Well, allegations. He was in jail.
Civil suit. He was in jail. No question.
Come on now. He was in jail.
Question.
Oh, the thing in Las Vegas. That's right.
Yeah,
that's
that
right.
thing.
That thing. That's right. That was right.
Getting his memorabilia back.
Oh, yeah.
I was just getting my stuff. I
didn't know what he was doing.
I just wanted my stuff.
Back.
I just wanted my stuff back.
Jeez.
Juice, I don't know. That was the best way of doing it.
We wish.
Oh, man.
Everybody.
How's Cato doing?
That's how you wake and bake.
Cato just had a birthday the other day.
All right.
Hey, there we go.
I forgot to text
Get a pair of gloves.
I'll send it to him. We need to wish everybody the best of luck on their brackets. Be sure and enjoy the games responsibly, safely. You're going to Pato Sportsbook.
Yeah, maybe at the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Good place to be today.
First half unders.
Absolutely. First half unders because of the way the jitters hit.
And the overinflated basketballs, right?
No Brian Anderson, Jason Benetti filling in, but we'll soldier through. Badgers play today. Hopefully they'll get a dub, and we'll talk to Matt LePay tomorrow. We're going to be here to talk about it no matter what happens because tomorrow we get to do it all again.
Better believe it.
Golden day on the Huddle. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you tomorrow at 5.
Enjoy the games. Peace.